One last time this week, welcome in on the road. The Yalls are in Washington for the last game of a 6-game road stretch. Jesse Cook with you high above the field here at Wild Things Park. The Yalls have a chance to win a series against the first place Wild Things. Welcome into our 50 West Brewing pregame show. Inspired by the Great American Road Trip across Route 50, 50 West is the premier brewery in the Cincinnati area. At 50 West, every beer is a journey. Join us for the ride, located at 7605 Worcester Pike. Excited to be here after an exciting win last night. The Yalls came out with the 7-5 comeback victory. They were down by as many as 3 runs until the 7th inning popped off. The Yalls enjoyed 3 home runs throughout that game. All solo shots, all from the 5, 6, 7 spots in the order. TJ Reeves, Steven Hrustich, and Sergio Gutierrez all went deep. They're all back in the lineup today. Not in the same exact spots. Reeves and Hrustich are still 5 and 6, but Gutierrez has moved back to the 8th spot. We'll get to the lineup in a bit, but right now let's just recap what happened yesterday. We saw the professional debut for Hunter Mink, one of the newest members of the Yalls. He threw 3 innings to start out the game, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, walked 3, but he also struck out 3. Then Ross Thompson relieved him, and that was a blot. He allowed 5 hits, 4 runs in 2 innings, 2 walks, and 1 loss. He was in line for the loss until the offense rallied back with that 4-run 7th. We'll get to that in a moment. Carter Pori needed a rebound game. He had allowed 8 runs across a third of an inning back on Saturday night. And they all salvaged him then with a win on Sunday. But he came back very strong with 2 no-hit frames and striking out a batter last night. He earned the win. Darian Williams continued his shutout streak to 5 innings, 4 outings with a no-hit 8th inning. He struck out 1. Kent Kleiman came on for the save. He allowed 1 hit, but nothing else. He struck out the side for his team-leading 4th save of the year. On offense, there were 2 multi-hit games to speak of. Ed Johnson and Craig Massey. By the way, 6 consecutive multi-hit games for Craig Massey. We talked with him in our Meet NKY conversation with Coach, so we'll get to that in just a moment as well. But Johnson went 2 for 4 with a couple of late singles in the 6th and 7th, walking in the 9th. Craig Massey, he went 2 for 5 with a 2-run single in the 7th. That was your game-winning hit. That gave the Yalls the lead before Ed Johnson then swiped home on a wild pitch. Brian Fuentes was good yesterday. He went 1 for 4 with an RBI single in the 6th to cut the gap that was 5-2 to 5-3. That set up the Yalls' comeback in the 7th. Hank Zeisler unfortunately ended his on-base streak. He had hit safely, whether it was a hit, a walk, or whatever, in 33 consecutive games. So Brian Fuentes still holds the title this season with a 35-game on-base streak. 13 of those were in last year's season. Actually, let me check on the exact numbers there. It might have been a little brighter than that. For Fuentes, last season, 13. He led off the 7th inning to cut the gap to 1. Steven Hrustich had the first. He opened up the scoring in the 2nd inning with a bomb on a 3-0 count. He had the green light, and he went yard to make it a 1-0 Yalls lead. When the Yalls were down 2-1 in the 5th inning, Sergio Gutierrez popped back with a home run to right field. The Yalls sprayed it all over the place. Hrustich went deep to center. Gutierrez deep to right. Reeves all the way out to left. Thomas Jones went 0 for 3 last night, scoring on a walk, and Dalton Davis rounded out with a 1 for 4 line. He also scored the game-winning run. That's what happened yesterday for the Yalls. Let's move on into what's happening today. Yannicker Villalobos is on the bump, and he's gone 6 or more innings in his last 3 outings. He's going up against Malik Barrington, who truthfully can be a little bit of a walk machine. Barrington this season comes in with a 445 earned run average. He has walked 35 batters across 60 2/3 innings this season. Villalobos, well, it hasn't been exactly worse. His record is worse than Barrington's, who stands at 5-3. Villalobos has a 3-6 line. But he comes in with a 511 earned run average. Still, lately, it's been hit or miss for him. He allowed 11 hits against Sussex County in the 11-10 comeback win, but most of those were in the 7th inning of work. He had gone a beautiful 1-run 6 innings before that. That's when he tied his record for innings in a start by a Y'all's pitcher this season of 7. Against Lake Erie, he earned the win back on July 21st with 6 innings, allowing 2 hits. Against Joliet last Friday, he was handed a no decision in the Y'all's come-from-behind loss. They were ahead in extra innings and let it go. He pitched 6 innings and allowed 3 runs on 5 hits. But some of those weren't really even his fault. It was just a lot of small ball from Joliet, things that found the right spot, things that wouldn't normally happen in a baseball game. But I guess you're talking about baseball. What is normal? So with a good 14 minutes till our first pitch, let's think about what's next in our Meet NKY conversation with Coach. When you're looking for where to stay, what to eat, and how to have fun, Meet NKY is your guide to Florence, Covington, Newport, and Greater Cincinnati. I sat down with hitting coach and evident stud in the batting lineup, Craig Massey, earlier today to chat about what's been going well for him and also the bet that we made on social media with the Wild Things broadcaster Kyle Dawson. I hope you enjoy. Listen in. If you're listening on YouTube, you'll get the full interview. If you're watching on Flow Sports, then you can go to our YouTube page to listen to it, but you'll just get 3 minutes of silence. And really, I hope you enjoy it because we're in for a game that's sure to be full of fireworks. Enjoy. Meet NKY, conversation with Coach Jesse Cook here with hitting coordinator Craig Massey. And going into this one,
It was a decent time to try it out. Third game of the series versus Washington. Figure why not?
And how important is that versatility from guys like Zaid, Hank Zeisler, who's played first in the outfield, Ed Johnson, who's been absolutely everywhere? How vital is that to success?
Oh, it's big time. That's how we wanted to build the team from the start. It's just a way we can help keep guys fresh. If they're hurting a little bit, we give them a DH day or a corner spot day, and then if they're feeling great, then put them in the middle, and just kind of rotating guys through, keeping everybody fresh.
And speaking of moving guys around, TJ Reeves was back in right field for the first time since going down with an injury yesterday. He looked really good defensively, but I just told you about this before we started recording. Did you hear prior about the bet about TJ hitting a home run?
I did not till you told me, but that's pretty awesome, and glad it worked in our favor. I'm sure you're happy as well.
I am happy. So for those who don't know, the bet on social media was...
Jeez, drawing a blank.
We'll go with the je ne sais quoi.
What's that?
We'll go with the je ne sais quoi.
What's that?
French for I don't know what.
Okay, yeah. It's a joke, going into the games. You don't want to talk about certain streaks going on, but the fact is once the first pitch is thrown, you're not thinking about that stuff. You're just trying to have good ABs and do what you can to help the team win.
That's the right answer. That's the one that doesn't tempt the baseball gods more than I already have.
Superstitious. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry. Superstitious.
There we go. Good song.
Oh, yeah. Solid. Music's been pretty solid here lately.
So how do you succeed after 5 games on the road? How do you wrap this up in a nice bow?
Just play clean baseball, good team baseball, and get out here with a win.
All right. Good luck today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coaches before a game. Happy we can do that on the road. And Y'alls will be back home for the next 6 games after today, so we'll have plenty more of those. If you're listening on YouTube instead of watching on Flow Sports, then you just missed the Wild Things mascot breaking it down. He was breakdancing down the first base line. That is a heavy mascot suit to be doing that. So props to whoever's in there. Actually, it might just be living. That might just be the Wild Thing. Who knows? Y'all-Star is, as everyone knows, just Y'all-Star. There's no one operating. That's just an entity. That is our water tower. Well, moving back into this one, it's the Y'alls against the first place Washington Wild Things. Washington earned its 50th win of the season on Tuesday, taking down the Y'alls. And, well, to be honest, kind of a snooze fest. Florence was 3 hitting that one, but all 3 of those knocks were for extra bases. TJ Reeves had a couple doubles, and Sergio Gutierrez had a home run. Both of them continued their dominance into last night's game, with Reeves going yard and Gutierrez going yard once again. We're underneath some hazy gray skies with blue and gold peeking off from right field. The lights are on here at Wild Things Park, as they have been before every game this series. It is perfectly bright out there, so I'm not sure why the lights are on now, but hey, at least no one's going to forget to turn them on when it gets dark. Our pitching matchup today, Yannicker Villalobos, the left-hander for Florence, pitching against Malik Barrington for the Wild Things. Now, the internet out here has been a little bit slow, so if you're getting a choppy feed, we apologize for the inconvenience. There's been some weather in the area. I think the router is being reset, so we'll see what happens with all of that. Or actually, if nothing good happens, maybe you won't. I honestly have absolutely no idea how many people I'm talking to right now. There may not be a single person listening to this broadcast on account of no Wi-Fi, but if by some miracle we're getting through, I'm very happy to be talking with you. Getting back to the matchup at hand in general, Villalobos walks into this one with a .511 earned run average, 79 strikeouts to his credit, all of those across 81 innings of work. Villalobos has gone 6 innings or more in his last 3 appearances. He allowed 5 runs in the middle of those in a 7-run game, but most of those came around in that 7th inning after he was probably left out there too long. His 6 innings against the Sussex County Miners in that comeback win were very good. It's just the 7th that got away from him. He had only allowed 2 hits until the 7th inning when a barrage came around. The first of those 3 was a win at the Lake Erie Crushers to wrap up that second half opening sweep, a 2-0 win. He went 6 innings, allowing 2 hits. And the last game, he got no decision in Friday night's loss in extra innings to the Joliet Slammers. Yannicker went 6 innings in that game. He allowed 3 runs on 5 hits. A lot of those were at the beginning, and he evened out very well later on after that. Malik Barrington is the counterpart for Washington. His earned run average sits at .445. He comes in with a 5-3 record. That's better than Yannicker's 3-6 line. Again, not all of that is the left-hander's fault. Barrington's last appearance, a 5-inning start on August 2nd, so just under a week ago, back on Saturday to open up their sweep of the Sussex County Miners. He went 5 innings, allowed 3 runs on 3 hits, striking out 6, but also walking 6. And that's the danger for Washington anytime Barrington goes out there. In all besides 3 appearances this season, he has walked multiple batters. This is his 12th start, 13th appearance on the bump. Now, I chatted with Kyle Dawson, Washington's broadcaster, before this game, and he said it's a good chance that Barrington might just be an opener. So we don't know how long he's realistically going to go, but he has gone at least 5 innings in his last 5 appearances, those dating back to July 9th. But this is as good a time as any to check out other scores around the league, because the Y'alls are not just watching their own game right now. They are watching the Lake Erie Crushers and the Schaumburg Boomers heavily. Lake Erie, as we talk, is 6 games ahead of Florence. They have a doubleheader today, and the Crushers won 9-0 over the Evansville Otters in the first game of that doubleheader. The Schaumburg Boomers are ahead of the Y'alls by 3.5 games. Washington is in first by 6 games over the Gateway Grizzlies. They're 50-23. Gateway is in second, 3 games ahead of Lake Erie, and those top 3 teams make the playoffs. Everyone else is out. So Schaumburg and Florence are the 2 closest competitors for that last playoff spot. The Y'alls have swept Lake Erie in the second half. 5 wins in 5 games after the All-Star break, but they still sit back by 6 games. You can blame part of that on losing the series to the Joliet Slammers over the weekend, the team with the worst record in the Western Conference. But it's not time for the blame game. It's just time to think about what's next. And with less than a fourth of the season to go, the Y'alls are still a distance out of there. So let's check in for the first time today with our Maximum Plumbing out-of-town scoreboard. When you need residential plumbing repairs and replacements, Maximum Plumbing brings the highest standards and top-notch customer service. So we talked about that first game for Lake Erie and Evansville. A 9-0 Lake Erie win. They're the home team in this doubleheader. They were rained out on Tuesday. By the way, listening to what's going on in the background as the Wild Things mascot goes nuts on the dance floor. Of course, who doesn't love the Wild Things song? Our Cook quiz yesterday was about the movie, or maybe it was 2 days ago. Cook quiz to start this series was about which major league player to appear in an acting role in that movie had the longest career. The answer was Steve Yeager with 1,269 games. I believe he played one of the villains. He was one of the Yankees pitchers in that. But going back to our Frontier League scores, Lake Erie won game 1. They're tied up 0-0 in the top of the 8th of game 2. So that is I guess it is a 9-inning affair for the second game. Every now and then it's a debate of whether it's going to be 2 7-innings, 1-7 and 1-9, 1-9 then 1-7, or 2 9s. I don't know how that works, but hopefully we don't have to deal with that again for the rest of the year. Elsewhere tonight in the Western Conference, the Schaumburg Boomers are playing the Windy City Thunderbolts. They're in the top of the first inning. The Gateway Grizzlies are at Joliet. They're also in the top of the first. We're set to get going in a couple minutes here, so we'll see what happens. There are people on the field. They look like they're about to sing the national anthem, but Washington is still in its intro. Checking in with games out in the east, Les Aigles de Trois-Rivières and the Tri-City Valley Cats have been canceled. That game was supposed to take place in New York, but nothing happened. They were canceled due to weather. The Sussex County Miners beat the New York Boulders in the first game of a doubleheader, and that game was suspended due to rain, but they resumed and won. The New England Knockouts are putting up a 4 spot on the Ottawa Titans in the bottom of the first inning. Or put up a 4 spot in the top of the first inning. New England has one of the worst records in the league. They're bottom 3 in the East. Ottawa is one of the teams that's destined for a playoff spot, so a big surprise out there. New England picked up former Y'alls pitcher Joe Kemledge last week. New York and Sussex County are set to play their second game at 7:05. Also, the New Jersey Jackals are in Quebec against the Capitals, a first-place team in the East. That game has just started as well. We'll get to our starting lineups after the national anthem. Stay tuned. Listen in. Beautifully done on that anthem from a duo where one of the men is wearing lederhosen in a Oktoberfest sort of outfit. All right, so let's get into it with our starting lineups for this one. Yannick Villalobos on the bump for Florence, but Malik Barrington gets the ball first as Washington takes the field. For the Yalls, leading off as center fielder Blaise O'Sabin, just like he did in Tuesday's game to start off this series. And he went 0 for 4 then, so probably not looking for a repeat performance. Craig Massey batting second in the designated hitter spot. He has reached safely in the last 10 games, rather in the last 14 games. He's on a 10-game hitting streak, and he has a 6-game multi-knock streak as well. Brian Fuentes is batting behind him in the 3 spot and playing third. Hank Zeisler batting fourth and playing first base. TJ Reeves is in right field for the 2nd game in a row, batting fifth. He was injured for all of the Joliet series, came in as a DH on Tuesday, but last night made his return to right field. He's playing there again today. He homered, as did Stephen Hrustich, who bats behind him. He's in left field. Zade Richardson got the night off last night and he's playing second base today, batting 7th. This is only the 2nd time this season that he is playing second base. Sergio Gutierrez, who hit a home run last night and the day before, is catching and batting 8th. Ed Johnson is back in that secondary leadoff role, batting 9th. Washington has Jalen Miller leading off, playing second. Tommy Caulfield batting third and batting second and playing third. Wagner Lagrange is in left field, batting third. Tyreek Reed, the designated hitter, cleaning up. Andrew Check in the lineup for the first time this series, playing first. Brandon McElwain in right field, batting 6th. Ethan Wilder at short, batting 7th. Robert Chayka back in center field like he was yesterday. Jason Santini catching and batting 9th. Righty-righty matchup to lead things off for Blaise O'Sabin. The Yalls are in their all blues. Baby blue pants, baby blue jersey, red and white around the sleeves. Washington black jersey, white pants. First pitch. Fastball at the knees for strike 1 to O'Sabin. First pitch comes in at 7:08 here on Thursday night, August 8th. Barrington comes set in the middle of the rubber. There's a big gap up the middle for O'Sabin here. 0-1. Sails outside and high, but that's called a strike. 0-2 count for O'Sabin. He walks into this game with a .336 batting average. His on-base percentage up at .413. Barrington, glove at the letters. 0-2 from the stretch. Swing and a tapper out to short. Wilder has it at the ankle. Sidearm throw to first, gets him by a step. One away in the top of the first. That brings up Craig Massey. He's done most of his damage late in games. We chatted with him as our Meet NKY conversation with Coach, as he is the Yalls player coach and their hitting coordinator. And he said he believes that baseball players are more superstitious than people in any other sport. He's on a 6-game, multi-game hitting streak, multi-knock hitting streak. First pitch misses above the belt to him, 1-0. So he doesn't want to tempt fate with anything, which I can very much understand. But he also understands that everything is pretty much in his hands. 1-0. Waits on another one. Massey resettles on the left side. 2-0 count, bases empty, 1 away, top of the first. From the stretch. Fastball low and away for a strike. 2-1 count. The last time Barrington pitched against the Yalls was the last game before the All-Star break, and he earned the win in the 13-12 Washington victory. Settles in the middle of the bump, 2-1. Swing and a miss. Catches him on the front step with his curveball. Massey's batting average coming into this one is .268 on the season, but in the second half, it's up at .377. Massey is 20 for 53 since the All-Star break. 11 RBIs since then, 4 extra base hits. 2-2. He slaps it down the left field line, hooking foul. That one far out of play. It's a 2-2 count. I guess we never got to our Cintas key to the game. Keep your business safe, clean, and professional with help from Cintas. Visit us online at cintas.com. And there it is right there. Extend at bats. Barrington is someone who struggles with walks, having walked multiple batters in 10 different games this season. Make him work. 2-2. High leg kick. Swinging a dribbler out to short. Wilder has it on the backhand. Throw to first in time. Wilder rather on the forehand with that play. Moving over to his left. 2 away. Nobody on for Brian Fuentes. Last night, Brian snapped a 12 at-bat hitless skid with a 1-for-4 showing. And an RBI with that single in the 6th inning. He settles in on the right side of the plate, batting .289 on the season. First pitch from the stretch. He swings and lifts it deep to left field, hanging back towards the fence. Lagrange at the wall. He looks up. He reaches. And that ball is gone. A pregnant pause in the ballpark as Lagrange neglected to show whether or not the ball was in his glove. But the Y'alls take the lead on a Brian Fuentes bomb to left. That's at least 1 home run for the Y'alls in every game this series. So did that go? Oh yeah. 1-0 Florence. He likes to hit wall scrapers. Every now and then Brian will hit one 450 feet, but his last 2 home runs have both snuck over the wall. Here's Hank Zeisler on the left side. First pitch. Watches one high and away for ball 1. The last time Brian hit a home run was on Saturday. He hit that grand slam against Joliet. That was still a loss, though, for the Y'alls. They lost 10-8 in a comeback. 1-0. Check swing, doesn't bite. Called strike at the knees. Infield back and shifted over towards the right. Second baseman Jalen Miller is closer towards the infield than he was yesterday in that shift. He was a good 15, 20 feet into the outfield. 1-1 is called a strike high and away. 1-2 count. Settles in again on the left side. 2 away, base is empty. Highlight kick. Swing and a miss. He chases in the dirt. Washington throws on to first. Santini gets him. Y'alls add 1-on-1 hit. A Brian Fuentes wall scraper home run to left. We move on to the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 Y'alls. Bottom of the first coming your way, brought to you by Central Bank, which was founded on the idea that banks can and should be pillars of their communities in good times and in bad. In everything we do and everywhere we serve, we start with you. Jesse Cook with you. Bottom of the first inning, rolling. Y'alls up 1-0 on a Brian Fuentes home run. Yannick Villalobos, the southpaw, dealing to Jalen Miller. The righty watches one high and away for ball 1. Villalobos coming on after 3 starts of 6 innings or more in a row. 1-0 from the windup. He swings and taps that over the backstop. Washington brings up Miller, followed by Tommy Caulfield and Wagner Lagrange. Villalobos in his last outing went 6 innings against Joliet last Friday, under a week ago. His 1-1. Skips low, 2-1 count to Miller. In those 6 innings, he allowed 3 runs on 5 hits, striking out 6 batters. From the windup, his 2-1. Swinging a rope out to short through to left field. Just into the infield gap, and that puts him aboard with a leadoff single. Miller follows up on last night's game when he went 1 for 4 with an RBI double. Tommy Caulfield went 1 for 4 last night. He's 2 for 8 on the series as a whole, doubling in the first game, rather 2 for 7, doubling in the first game and singling last night. Caulfield made the second out in that 9th inning last night. Actually made the final out in the 9th inning, striking out to end the game. Lefty-lefty matchup, first pitch. Misses lone away, ball 1. And Rodney Hutchison, one of the Y'all's relievers, was listed as available for this one. He and Caulfield know each other. They grew up playing baseball and hockey and bonded over that when they met at UNC. 1-0. High and inside, just misses. And earlier today, I was shagging fly balls. I'll let that image run into your mind, but out there, I was standing with the pitchers, and Rodney and I got to talking about hockey. I guess we had both watched Olympic field hockey or something. The 2-0. Swinging a line drive down the left field line, but foul into the Y'all's bullpen area. And going after it is, well, Rodney Hutchison. 2-1 count. And Rodney went to UNC. I went to Syracuse. And in field hockey, they're rivals. Rodney's fiance played field hockey at UNC. 2-1 bounces, 3-1 count. I suppose we'll get further into this discussion if Rodney comes back into the game. But that is the longest discussion that I have had about field hockey since working a couple games all the way back in September. He knows a lot. 3-1. Swing and a tag up the middle. Johnson fields it short, steps on second for 1. The lob to first. Doesn't matter. There's a balk called on Villalobos. No pitch. That could have been a double play. I believe that is Yannicker's first balk this season. Gonna have to check on that. He didn't have any his last time out. So I'm just gonna keep flipping pages in my scorebook to find this. None the time before that. I'm gonna go with that being his first. 3-1 now. From the stretch. Swing and a line shot straight away center field. O'Saban in pursuit. He reaches and makes the catch. Runner tagging for third. Rocket throw to the base. Cut off and not in time. That's a short tag for Miller, but he makes it there. There's Wild Things at the tying run in scoring position here in the bottom of the first, with 1 away. 1-0 Y'alls on the Brian Fuentes home run. Here comes Wagner Lagrange. He bats from the right side. Wagner is batting .289 on the season. He's played in 46 games entering today. Got an on-base percentage at .330. First pitch to the righty. He swings and pops it up, first base side, heading foul. Zeisler in pursuit near the warning track. All alone, he catches it. Runner tagging from third, he holds up. Zeisler's throw is on the money, so Miller stops. 2 away now on the clutch pop fly. That brings up Tyreek Reed, 2 away, runner on third. 1-0 Y'alls. Games when the Y'alls score first, by the way. They're 24-11, 13-5 on the road. Y'alls have scored first in this one. First pitch to the righty, Reed. Misses upstairs. Reed was Frontier League Player of the Week, headed into the All-Star break. That was when Washington pieced up Florence for a sweep to end the first half. 1-0. He swings and cuts it foul off to the right side. Zeisler chasing it down. Near the bullpen, he slides and he catches it. Hank Zeisler, back-to-back plays, goes chasing over his shoulder and ends the inning. Washington strands the tying run at third. We move on to the top of the second, 1-0 Y'alls. One nothing Y'alls as we move on to the top of the second inning. Florence has done it on one hit, a Brian Fuentes wall-scraping home run. The second inning brings you your umpire intro, brought to you by Republic Bank, one of Newsweek's best banks in America in 2024. Come see why it's just easier here at any of Republic Bank's ATMs in the tri-state area or the 5 locations right along the Ohio River. TJ Reeves leading off, a right-hander against the righty, Malik Barrington. We'll get to those umpires in just a second. First pitch on the way to Reeves from the stretch. He swings and rips it up the middle. Base hit to lead things off on the first pitch. TJ gets aboard. His third straight game with a hit coming off of injury. Second hit of the game for the Y'alls. And now they've got Steven Hrustich coming up on the right side. He hit a long home run to dead center yesterday. So your umpiring crew, back with our umpire intro, it's Jeff Clifford behind the plate, the crew chief Brandon Snyder at first, and Evan Kerr at third. Infield at double play depth for the righty-righty matchup. Barrington's first pitch, hefty swing and miss. Chased down low with the breaking ball. Hrustich, the home run yesterday, it went over the batter's eye, which is 405 feet to dead center in a very tall wall, 20 feet tall. 0-1. Watches the heater at the top of the zone. 0-2 count for Steven Hrustich, who walks into this one with a batting average of .314. Joined the Y'alls in the middle of the season out of the University of Michigan. Barrington with the glove at the letters, stares over at first, sets on home, the 0-2. Check swing, he went all the way around, strike three. One away, one on for Zade Richardson, who got a rest during yesterday's game. Zade cycles around playing first base, catcher, and designated hitter, but today, I guess this is what the rest was for. He's playing second base for just the second time this season. Righty-righty matchup, runner on first. Barrington kicks high. Front door curve falls for a strike at the belt, 0-1 count. And we've talked with Zade before in our Flow Talks, those interviews with members of the Florence Y'alls, which you can find on YouTube. And he says he tries to lead by example. He tries to be even keel and do what's asked for him and be that leader. Well, he's being asked to play the middle infield today. 0-1, misses outside and low. As far as batting, he's been one of the most consistent players on the team with a .308 average. Back over the weekend, he had jumped up to .318, which was then first on the team, but he's dropped over a little bit lately. Throw over to first, and TJ's back in with a head first dive. And before the game, we talked with today's designated hitter, player coach, the hitting coordinator, Craig Massey, and he said Zade's capable. He's been taking reps at second and BP. 1-1. He swings and rips it out into the left center field gap on the ground, rolling towards the wall. Reeves round second, motoring for third. Zade heading into second base. He lays out. Tag applied. Not in time. Richardson puts two men in scoring position with just one away for the Yalls, up 1-0 here in the top of the second. He tagged that ball high and inside. Barrington is known for heading out of the zone. He's walked multiple batters in 10 of his 13 appearances this season. He's been locating well today with his off-speed pitches, but he hung one up there and Zade attacked it. That brings up red-hot Sergio Gutierrez. He's got home runs in the last two games. After Washington mounted that gargantuan inning on Tuesday night, putting up 7 runs, ultimately winning the game, Gutierrez led off the next inning with a home run. First pitch, he bats from the left side, swings and chops it high and foul, headed towards the third base stands. And you can hear it landed right on the bleachers. 0-1 count. After that, Sergio's home run yesterday came with 2 outs in the 5th inning and tied the game at 2-2. The Alls wound up trailing 5-2 before TJ Reeves led off the 7th inning with a home run, setting the stage for a 4-run lead-taking rally. 0-1. Backdoor curveball sails high and away, 1-1 count. 82 miles per hour there from Barrington, the slowest pitch he's thrown this evening. And it is starting to look a little bit more like evening than day. Heavy clouds rolling in overhead for an overcast sky, but the sun is dimming. 1-1. He swings and chops it down the first base side, foul. 1-2 count. Gutierrez has to watch his strikeout numbers. He's got 72 Ks this season, 3rd on the team behind Brian Fuentes and TJ Reeves. That rolling moss green of maple and oak trees off in the distance, and the rolling western Pennsylvania hills still looks as bright as ever. But that's because it's also got the benefit of the Wild Things Park LEDs right out in front. 1-2, 1 away. Runners on second and third, 1-0 Yalls. The pitch runs inside and skips away from Santini to the backstop. Reeves jogs home. Richardson takes third with ease, and it's 2-0 Florence, scoring on a wild pitch for the second time in as many days. I don't know how well you can hear the crowd, but we just heard someone say, well, don't give it away. That's exactly what happened. The Owls now have another run waiting 90 feet from home. 2-2 count for Gutierrez in the top of the second. 1 away. Infield all the way in. The pitch. This is high and outside on the curveball. Full count for Gutierrez. In a full count, Sergio's on-base percentage is up at .467. That's almost half the time he comes up with 3 balls and 2 strikes. From the stretch, swing and a miss. Sergio goes down cutting. 2 away now in the top of the second, 2-0 Yalls after the wild pitch scored TJ Reeves. That brings up Ed Johnson. He's been batting in that pseudo secondary leadoff role every other day over this road trip. He's been the 9-hitter, the other times the leadoff man. First pitch to the righty. He swings and tags it up the middle, but straight at Robert Chayka in center, and he makes the catch. Yalls add 1 on the wild pitch scoring TJ Reeves, but that is it. 2 hits in the inning. 2-0 Yalls. We move on to the bottom of the second. 5-6-7 due up for Washington against the lefty Villalobos. Bottom of the second inning coming your way with a 2-0 Y'alls lead, trying for their 25th win on the season, then starting off with the first run. Y'alls are 24-11 when they score first. Yannicker Villalobos on the bump, his second inning of work. The left-hander dealing against a fellow left-hand Andrew Check. First time that the Y'alls are seeing the big bat of Check this series. He's been injured over the last 2 games, but he's back in the lineup. Check leans in from the middle of the lefty box. Villalobos comes set, first pitch. Fastball at the knees for a strike. Check walks into this one with a .265 batting average. Villalobos from the windup. Fastball at the belt, 0-2 count. Check has appeared in all besides 3 games this season for Washington, playing in 70, now 71 to 74. 0-2, he swings and knobs off the top of the backstop. And it is Oktoberfest night here at the Washington Wild Things ballpark. So one of the gentlemen who sung the national anthem, clad in lederhosen, tried to grab that ball, but it tipped off his fingertips. So he couldn't land it in the beer stein. 0-2, front door curve misses low. And that was not explained to me beforehand, that this was Oktoberfest night. Mainly because it's August 8th. 1-2, swing and a miss. Villalobos catches the biggest bat in the order, high and inside for his first strikeout. Now, why are they having Oktoberfest in August? Well, the reason being that it is Augtoberfest, A-U-G-Toberfest. Literary geniuses. First pitch to the righty, Brandon McElwain. Leans in high for strike 1. Caught him at the belt. Villalobos sets into it, his 0-1 from the windup. Swing and a dribbler foul off to the third base side. McElwain yesterday went 1 for 2 with a single and a sacrifice fly, also walking. We've heard plenty of German songs throughout this one, whether it just be polka music. Someone just played an accordion. 0-2, check swing up high, didn't go around. An accordion, very popular in polka music. We also heard, I believe the German is 969 Luftballon, popular song by Nena. 1-2 from the windup. He swings and taps it to first. Leitzler is there in plenty of time. Caught that one up near his shoulders and was almost on the bag by the time he reeled it in. Now, the funny thing with Nena in my family is that somewhere there is a list of every country's 100 most influential people. It's from sometime in the 90s, I think. First pitch to Ethan Wilder. Runs high and away for a ball. He's batting from the right side. And for some reason, Nena was listed as something like the 38th most important German of all time. That's fouled over the right side. And my older sister is a giant fan of both European music and, well, not just European, but international music, and things that are kind of stupid. 1-1. Foul to the backstop, and I don't mean that as a knock to her. I mean facts like, why would Nena be the 38th most important German of all time? But now, whenever someone is brought up in conversation in our family, the one line is, yeah, this person's big, but are they as important as Nena? 1-2, tapped up the middle. Villalobos runs off the mound. He lets it go to second. Richardson barehands it, but not in time. Wilder comes up with the infield hit. And that's a clutch play, but down 2 runs, is that as important as Nena? World will never know. The sad fact is, I know that she's working right now, so if I want her to hear this segment, I'll have to send it to her later. And am I the type of person that's going to go dive back into a broadcast to find some 1-minute soliloquy? Absolutely. Robert Chayka at the plate. First pitch, the righty swings and misses behind the fastball at the knees. Now, I don't know where this list come from. I'm sure if I look it up, I'll find something. But in all of German history, it's a long history. I figure from the Germanic tribes, there's got to be someone more important than Nana. Or at least 38 people more important than him. 0-2 count. Runner on first, 2 away, 2-0 Yalls. Villalobos settles in on the third base side of the rubber. From the stretch, swinging a pop fly down the right field line, and wave foul out of play. Now the funny thing is, at Yalls games, we always have balloons around the entrance. Can we get 99 red balloons to go by? We'll answer that tomorrow when we return home. 0-2, swing and a miss. Villalobos has 2 strikeouts in 1 inning. Wild Things are held without a run. It's a 2-0 Yalls lead through a pair. We move on to the 3rd inning. The top of the order coming up for the Yalls. Top of the 3rd inning coming your way, brought to you by the Roar Agency, located in all 50 states across the nation. Feel the Roar difference with Roar Insurance and visit us today at roarins.com. 2-0 Yalls in the top of the 3rd. Leading off is the leadoff man, Blaze O'Sabin, 0 for 1 so far against another righty, Blake Barrington. Jesse Cook with you on the mic. First pitch on the way. O'Sabin swings and misses out in front of the breaking ball low. The Yalls have 2 runs in this one of them off of a Brian Fuentes home run in the 1st inning. The other is after Zade Richardson doubled TJ Reeves over to 3rd, and he scored on a wild pitch. 2nd straight game the Yalls have scored on a wild pitch. Big gap up the middle for O'Sabin. 0-1, misses high and outside. We've seen this from Washington pitchers throughout the series. They really like to work the pitch clock either down low, very, very low, or go very early, vary it up. Down at 4 seconds, he deals. Swinging a rope to center field, but Chayka barely has to move to his right. 2 steps back, and he's got it. That's a good 380 feet under that ball for O'Sabin. If he just puts it down the left field line, he could have his 2nd home run of the year. But it's a deep center field here in Washington, 405 feet to dead center, 10 feet further than what you see in Florence. Left and right field, the dimensions are the same, 325. I was chatting with Thomas Jones earlier today, one of the Yalls outfielders. He's not in the lineup today, getting a rest, but the field slopes up going towards the infield. Craig Massey batting from the left side. First pitch. Backdoor curve, misses high and away. And Jones demonstrated it to me. We were out in the outfield. Craig Massey actually asked me to help shag fly balls. The pitchers were taking a while to get ready, so they had a few position players out there, and it was taking a while to get the balls back in. 1-0. Rests on the front door, but misses inside. 2-0. And Jones asked me to tell him what color shoes Chad Rhodes was wearing while he was picking up baseballs around the mound during BP. And you couldn't see. 2-0. High and inside. Because there is an upward slope. It's very gradual, but it's very difficult to tell what's going on the ground late, which changes how you see the ball and it changes how you make your first step. 3-0 from the stretch. High and outside, it's a 4-pitch walk for Massey. That moves his on-base streak up to 11 games. Ryan Fuentes comes up to the plate after hitting that wall scraper home run to left. For Brian, that is now 9 home runs on the season. Massey off for second, the pitch. Runs upstairs, throw to the base, not in time. Massey dives in head first and nabs his 4th steal of the season on 5 tries. 1-0 count to Fuentes with a runner in scoring position now in Massey. With runners in scoring position, Brian is batting .333. He's got 51 RBIs. That is the best line on the team with a runner on second or third. On the season, he leads the team in total RBIs at 60, one ahead of TJ Reeves, now 61. The pitch. Watches a breaking ball on the outside half, 1-1 count. That home run gave him his 61st RBI. So he's now 2 ahead of TJ Reeves. 1-1 count, runner on second, 1 away, 2-0 Y'alls, top of the third. From the stretch. Breaking ball in the dirt. Barrington goes back down low for that one. 82 miles per hour under the curve. Fuentes settles in a closed-off stance at the very back of the righty box. Barrington stares at second and deals home. Swinging a high fly ball to center field. Chayka tracks over about 10 steps in front of the track. He makes the catch. Massey heads for third. Throw goes directly to the base, but is much too late and far offline. The Y'alls have a runner 90 feet from home with 2 away in the top of the third, up 2-0. Hank Zeisler coming up to the plate. He struck out swinging his last time up. That makes him 0 for his last 5 plate appearances. 0 for his last 9 at-bats dating back to Sunday. Yesterday was his first time without reaching base in 33 games. From the stretch, this is high and outside, ball 1. Massey waiting off of third. He reached in a 4-pitch walk and stole second before swiping third on the fly ball from Fuentes. The infield is shifted heavily over to the right. There's a giant gap between the shortstop Wilder and Caulfield at third. 1-0. Backdoor curve falls for a strike, 1-1 count. Wilder is almost behind second base. Jalen Miller is in right field. He's much closer than he was yesterday. Yesterday he was about 20, maybe even 30 feet deep into right field. Now much closer, about 10 feet back. 1-1 from the stretch. This is high and outside. We talked about how Barrington had a problem with the walks this season, going with multiple walks in 10 of his 13 appearances. Massey was his first today. 2-1. Zeisler in an open stance lays his bat on his back shoulder. The 2-1 pitch misses high and away. Santini sent sliding off to his left. Waiting on deck is TJ Reeves. He struck that line drive single to lead off the second inning on the first pitch he saw. Barrington leans in. His 4th appearance against the Y'alls this season. High leg kick, the 3-1. Swinging a dribbler to the backstop. Foul. Full count. Barrington pitched against Florence in the first game these teams played against each other on May 31st. He started with 5 innings in the 11-5 win, allowing 4 runs on 4 hits. Next time that he pitched against Florence was on July 3rd. Didn't make it out of the 5th inning, giving up 2 runs on 2 hits. That was another Washington win. They are unbeaten against the Y'alls when he pitches. winning his third start after 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs allowed. Full count pitch. He swings and rips it foul off to the left side and out of play. That bounces off a bright red lunch table and sends a swarm of small children chasing it down. The lower level is all but full here in Washington, but the upper level leaves some sparse seating. It is Thirsty Thursday and Oktoberfest night here in Washington. 2 outs, the payoff. Swinging a line shot to straightaway center field, but Chayka barely has to move. He races in and makes the catch after a one-step movement. Y'all strand Massey at third. They're retired on no hits, and it's their first scoreless inning of the game. 2-0 Y'alls as we move on to the bottom of the third here on the Florence Y'alls Baseball Network. It's a 2-0 Y'alls lead as we take you back inside Wild Things Park for the bottom of the third inning. Yonker Villalobos has allowed 1 hit in both frames. He's also struck out a pair. 9-1-2 due up for the Wild Things. J.C. Santini batting for the second time this series after pinch hitting in the 9th inning last night. That was a Y'alls win. Santini was the first of 3 strikeouts for closer Kent Kleiman. Lefty on the bump, righty at the dish, first one on the way. Fastball in the inner half for a strike. Santini did not play behind the plate in either of the first 2 games. That was Ricardo Sanchez. He swings and foul tips the 0-1 to the backstop. 0-2 count. Santini walks into this one with a .238 batting average. He struck out 31 times this season across 40 games. 0-2, high leg kick from Villalobos. Swinging another foul tip over the backstop. Y'alls infield, push back. Corner infielders in the middle of the dirt. Middle guys out on the early outfield grass. Santini took a moment outside of the box. He resettles his helmet and comes back in. Another 0-2 count. Villalobos with bright red cleats has his glove in front of his eyes. Winds the pitch clock to 5, gets into it, the 0-2. Fastball high and away, just misses. Teams in the Frontier League have a 15-second pitch clock. Villalobos settles in, pitch clock at 10, now he throws, 1-2. Swing and a miss. That one hit him. It looked like he maybe foul tipped it into his own foot. So Santini stays up there. That looked like a swipe and miss, but you can usually tell from the players' reactions if that actually was a swing. And spoiler, not really. Went halfway around and I guess made contact with the ball. Santini readjusts his batting gloves outside the box. It's his second year in Washington. They extended him back in November. 1-2 again from Villalobos. Checks a swing at 1 at the Sox, doesn't pull around. 2-2. Santini finished up his collegiate career at Northwestern in the Big Ten. 2-2 from the windup. Front door curve misses low. Wow, we've seen some questionable calls from the umpiring crew in this series. I'm struggling to figure out where that missed. I don't have a monitor with me, so I can't see the replay. Full count. Swinging a rope up the middle. Johnson dives. He got it. Throw to first in time. A spectacle at shortstop, sliding onto the early outfield grass. I guess ball don't lie. They almost come up with the out. That brings up Jalen Miller batting from the right side. Last time up, he singled. He was stranded at third at the end of that first inning. First one on the way to the righty. This is low. Miller was a 2015 third rounder in the MLB draft. The Giants picked him up out of high school. Played up till AA in 2022. Fouls one to the backstop. 1-1 count. Made it up to the AAA River Cats out in Sacramento, but never entered a game. After he was sent back down to AA with the Richmond Flying Squirrels, he was then released back in 2020. 1-1. That bounces. And we did our research for yesterday's Ragin' Cajun Cook quiz, which, by the way, we've got that one coming up in the top of the fourth. Yesterday was about the longest distance between minor league teams and their major league affiliate. That misses upstairs, 3-1 count. It was specific to AAA programs. We found that the Oklahoma City Dodgers were the furthest distance away from the Los Angeles Dodgers, more than any other AAA team from its major league affiliate. 3-1. He swings and tags up the middle. Villalobos picks it like nothing. Lobbed to first, and he got him. Villalobos nods in Miller's general direction as he walks to the dugout. That just wound up in his glove. But to continue, we found that the longest distance for a AA program was the Flying Squirrels away from the San Francisco Giants. Tommy Caulfield comes up on the left side. He's 0 for 1, flying out to center his first time. The pitch. Shrugs his shoulders and watches a curveball fall for a strike. 0-1 count. Villalobos has retired 3 in a row. Only one base runner in his last 9 batters. 0-1. Fastball in the outer half for a strike. Caulfield in Washington for his second year. Played his college ball at UNC Charlotte and Millersville, sort of a D2 powerhouse. 0-2. He swings and lunges that one up the middle for a base knock. He's gotten aboard by way of a hit at least once in every game this series. Here comes Wagner Lagrange batting from the right side. Last time up, he popped out to first. That was when Washington had Miller on third with 1 away. Villalobos comes set, the southpaw fires. Fastball at the knees for a strike. Lagrange popped down on the first pitch he saw to first, and then Tyreek Reed on the second pitch. Hank Zeisler had to go chasing down those balls towards the warning track. Foul play. 0-1. Watches another heater, lone away for strike 2. 89 miles per hour on that for Villalobos. Lagrange crowds the plate an inch closer. Wearing red, white, and black cleats. On his toes, on his front foot, in a very open stance. 0-2. He swings and misses high and away. Chased the ball up near his helmet for strike 3. Villalobos has his 3rd strikeout of the outing. We move on to the top of the 4th inning. 2-0 Y'alls. Cook quiz coming up after a quick break. 2-0 Y'alls as we take it to the top of the 4th inning, brought to you by the Once Upon a Child. Once Upon a Child provides a sustainable and convenient way to buy and sell gently used kids' clothing, shoes, and toys. Visit the Florence location at 7941 Mall Road today. 2-0 Y'alls as we begin the top of the 4th inning. TJ Reeves leading off after a leadoff single his last time up in the 2nd inning. Righty-righty matchup, Malik Barrington on the bump. Big gap up the middle. TJ put his single straight through second base. First pitch, the front door curve on the inner half, falls for a strike. 0-1 count. And earlier today, TJ was one of many players asking for 2 more minutes of time in the locker room before batting practice to watch a Team USA Olympic basketball game against Serbia. That pitch falls in for a strike on the front half again. 0-2 count. And the U.S., of course, overcame that 17-point deficit to earn a spot in the gold medal game. Valiant effort. Well, our Cook Quiz today, presented by Ragin' Cajun, takes us into the Olympics, but not necessarily with basketball. Barrington sets for the 0-2 to Reeves. High leg kick. This is high and outside. So there is a select few who have medaled both in the Summer Olympics and the Winter Games, and one of those few people plays plays in a major league organization. Medaled in baseball and speed skating. 1-2 from the stretch. Swing and a miss, high and away. Reeves overtakes Fuentes for the team lead in strikeouts at 76 with that one. 1 up, 1 down in the 4th inning. Here comes Steven Hrustich. Now I'll even tell you that player's name. That is Eddie Alvarez, who competed for Team USA in the 2021 Olympics in baseball, and also in speed skating before that. Which major league organization does he currently play for? First pitch to Hrustich, batting from the right side. He swings and lifts it high on the infield grass, behind first base, check on the foul line, straddling the chalk, makes a catch. 2-away on a strikeout and a pop-out. That brings up Zade Richardson, who doubled last time. Eddie Alvarez, 2-sport Olympic medalist, speed skating and in baseball. For which major league organization does he currently play? And I will give you a hint that I am not insinuating that he is in the majors, but he is in an organization. Left fielder for Washington, Wagner Lagrange, is on the warning track. First pitch, that bounces to Richardson. The rest of the outfield is relatively deep, but Lagrange is right in front of the fence. He is expecting Zade to go deep his way, which makes sense, because Zade is a heavy pull hitter. For the Y'alls this season, he's homered 6 times. 1-0. Curveball falls at the Sox. 2-0 count. His double was a shallow one into left center last time up. He legged out that really 250-foot ball. Big gap up the middle for Richardson. 2-0. He swings and tags it foul off to the right side. Now to play. Now, when I think about 2-sport Olympians, I think back to those early Olympics when Jim Thorpe was playing and athletes were required to be in the athletics category and in their respective sport. But this is recent. 2-1. This is high and inside. And Eddie Alvarez, while he may not be a household name, that is partially because in the Olympics last time, conflicted with the Major League Baseball season, so your average major leaguers were not participating. 3-1, high and inside, just misses him, but nevertheless, that is ball 4. The Y'alls have had at least one base runner in every inning. Sergio Gutierrez comes up to the plate, batting from the left side. We'll have to check and see if that ball hit Zade. It might be a hit by pitch instead of a walk, which would bring him to 12 on the season, second behind Hank Zeisler with a whopping 18. Sergio struck out swinging on a full count last time, and field shifted heavily over to the right. He has home runs in back-to-back days. First pitch, he swings and taps it off its front foot. The outfielders are staying relatively at the same depth that they had through Zade, except Lagrange has crept back in a few steps. Brendan McElwain off in right field is a good 15 steps in front of the warning track. Both of Sergio's home runs have gone right over his head. 0-1. Watches the curveball dance at the knees. 0-2 count for Sergio Gutierrez. With 2 strikes, he has hit 4 home runs this season. He is second on the roster in long balls with 10. 8 of them from the left side, 2 from the right. He has pulled the ball every time he has hit it out as well. 2 away, 2 strikes, 2-0 Y'alls, top of the 4th. Runner on first. Barrington pitching from the middle of the rubber. Raises the glove high and deals, misses high and outside. We complained about his walk numbers before this one, but he's only walked 2 through 4 innings. He's attacking the zone a lot. Still, he has only struck out 2 as well. Across now 3 2/3. Glove at the letters. From the stretch. He swings and taps it the other way, foul. Don't often see Sergio go lunging after pitches like that. He is third on the team in strikeouts for a reason. He tries to go big with every swing. That's also part of why he's second on the team in home runs. But it's not often that we see him lunge out for a pitch like that and stay alive. 1-2 again. Barrington comes set. High leg kick. Curveball misses high and away. Sergio has forced 19 walks this season. 12 of them have come in a 2-strike count. So nearly 2/3 of the time he walks, it's in a full count. 2-2 for him here. Here you go. Swing and a pop up over the backstop, foul. Gutierrez has shortened up his swing this week. He has a very long, wide swing and can generate a lot of power, but it doesn't spend a lot of time in the zone. It spends a lot of its time getting around just to even meet the ball. So he's behind a lot of pitches. But not this week. 2-2, a heavy breath on the mound. The pitch, swing and a miss. Bottom of the golf, inside and low. Second strikeout of the game for Gutierrez. Y'alls Strand Richardson on first base after that walk, but they still lead 2-0 as we move on to the bottom of the 4th, and we'll get the answer to that Cook quiz in just a bit. Bottom of the 4th inning coming your way here in Washington, brought to you by Raging Cajun Seasoning. Raging Cajun is partnered with the Y'alls to bring their Y'all-proof seasoning to the Cincinnati area. Real Louisiana flavor without the heat. This is the seasoning for all y'all to eat. 2-0 Y'alls over the Wild Things. Yannick Villalobos on the bump. The lefty dealing to Tyreek Reed. First pitch to the righty. Runs upstairs for a ball. 1-0 count for Reed who popped out behind first base last time. Hank Zeisler went sliding onto the warning track and found ground to grab it. 1-0. Breaking ball high and away, called a strike, 1-1 count. Villalobos has struck out 3 batters in 3 innings. Here he settles. Wines is 1-1. Swung on and belted deep down the right field line, but long foul. 1-2 count. Reed walks into this one as the player with the highest batting average on the Washington lineup card at .358. He has 35 RBIs off of 8 home runs. We checked in with our Maximum Plumbing scoreboard during our pregame show, but there are some very important other games to watch around the league for the Y'alls in the playoff hunt. 1-2. He swings and taps it out to second. Richardson has it on a bobble, throws on to first and gets him. 1 away. Zay Richardson, the first ball to come his way in his second start at second base this season. It's the first out he's made. One went his way earlier. He barehanded a high chopper, but through no fault of his own, could not get Ethan Wilder in time. As Andrew Check lumbers up on the left side of the plate, following a strikeout his first time up, Villalobos winds. First pitch. Curveball at the top of the zone. So Lake Erie played a doubleheader today that the Y'alls have been attentively watching against the Evansville Otters. 0-1. Fastball low and away for a strike. The Y'alls started the day trailing Lake Erie for the last playoff spot by 5.5 games. The Crushers did exactly what their name would suggest in game 1, winning 9-0. 0-2. Swinging a high pop, third base side. Fuentes creeps in onto the early grass and makes a catch. 2 away. Washington hasn't left the infield. 2-0 Y'alls, 2 away in the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but let's get the answer to our Cook quiz. After Team USA had that big comeback today, it got me thinking about Olympians who have won medals in the winter and summer. Eddie Alvarez did it with the American baseball team. First pitcher, Brandon McElwain, he swings and sends it to deep center field. O'Savin looking over his shoulder in right center. That ball is up, and it's off the wall. No, it is gone. 2-1 Y'alls. McElwain goes deep to the deepest part of the yard. Villalobos surrendered a home run in his last start as well, but that was in the first inning. As Ethan Wilder comes up in a very fast-paced inning, let's get the answer to that. So Eddie Alvarez was one of 6 people to medal in both the summer and winter games. First pitch on the way. Fastball high and away for a strike. Speed skating and baseball. What major league organization does he play for? 0-1 from the windup. That bounces low. And being from Massachusetts, I'm very happy to report that the answer is the Boston Red Sox. Alvarez is in AAA Worcester. Many major league players were still in season. 1-1, misses upstairs during the 2021 Olympics. So plenty of minor leaguers and college talent played for Team USA. And Alvarez was one of them after winning a silver medal a few years before. 2-1. This is low and bounces away. So he won a silver medal with Team USA. Three and 1 from the windup. Swung on and tapped to the backstop. He also earned that silver medal in the 2014 Sochi Games in speed skating. Silver medal in 2021, Team USA in Tokyo. Full count pitch. Fastball just below the knees, called ball 4. Half the Y'alls infield started walking off towards the dugout, but home plate umpire Jeff Clifford evidently has a high strike zone. That brings up Robert Chayka digging in on the right side. First pitch on the way. This is upstairs. Chayka is 0 for 1 with a swinging strikeout back in the second. 1-0. Front door curve falls for a strike. That one at 81 miles per hour. Villalobos comes set on the third base side of the rubber, pitching from the stretch. His 1-1. Swinging a pop fly foul out of play off to the right side. 1-2 count. One and two from the stretch, misses upstairs. 2-1 the Y'alls lead. It was 2-0 until Brandon McElwain snuck a home run to the deepest part of the yard earlier this inning. That is Washington's only hit of the frame. They have at least one hit. They have exactly one hit in every inning. 1-2. Swing and a pop fly behind home, first base side. Zeisler creeps in from first, and he catches it in foul ground. Then ends the inning. Y'alls hold on to the lead, but Washington adds one on a very long home run. We move on to the fifth inning, 2-1 Y'alls. Two-1 Y'alls taking you back inside Wild Things Park to the top of the fifth inning. Leads famous recipe chicken pitching change coming up for Washington as Marlon Perez, the lefty, leaves Malik Barrington after going 4 innings, allowing 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts on 63 pitches. Took the lefty and Perez in his second Frontier League appearance. Dealing with the 9-1-2 part of the Y'alls order, Ed Johnson, Glazo Saban, and Craig Massey, 2 righties and a lefty. Into the windup, first pitch from Perez. Fastball high and away for a strike at 89 miles per hour. Perez pitched on August 4th. So 4 days ago, went 4 innings, allowed 1 run on 3 hits with 1 strikeout. 0-1, misses high and outside. That was in the series finale against the Sussex County Miners. It was the end of a 3-game sweep. The 8th win of their 9-game winning streak, which the Y'alls snapped last night. 1-1 from the windup. Swinging a foul tip over the backstop. 1-2 count. Perez started this year in High A in the Nationals organization with the Wilmington Blue Rocks. That's also where he spent 2023. 2022, he was with the Fredericksburg Nationals in Single A. 24 years old, the Cuba native was signed at 22 years of age. 1-2 count. He steps into it, whirls and deals. This is inside, almost nabbing Johnson on the belt. 2-2 count. Perez stands at 5'10", 180 pounds. 2-2. This is upstairs to Johnson. The Y'alls took the lead early on a Brian Fuentes wall scraper home run. The 2 away in the first. TJ Reeves made it all the way to third in the second inning and scored on a wild pitch. 3-2, swinging a line shot up the middle on a bounce. Wilder has it, bare hand throw to first is in time. Ball snuck up on him. It took a weird hop in the middle of the infield dirt. Caught up with it, hard hit ball. One away for the top of the order, and Blaze O'Sabin. He's hitless so far. With a ground out to short, a fly out to center field last time up in the third. He crowds the plate on the right side, leaning over home. First one on the way. Swings and sends it to the backstop. Perez comes set, glove at his belt. Winds and fires. This is low and away. One and one. Misses in the dirt. Perez was signed on August 2nd. We're having some power issues here in Washington. 2-1, tapped up the middle, straight at second baseman Jalen Miller. On the outfield grass, throws to first and gets him. 2 up, 2 down on the ground out. The Alls have been without a hit since the second inning. Zay Richardson's double. They've reached on 2 walks. That's it. Eleven outs and 13 batters, no hits since then. Power issues. We just had the lights turn off and on here in the broadcast booth, but nothing affecting the LEDs over the field. First pitch to the lefty, Massey. Leans at one in the strike zone. 0-1 count. Field is canvassed under a heavy blue. Off in the distance, it matches the Y'all's jerseys. 0-1. Swing and a miss. That is not a sky blue. That is night crawling over, refracted through the clouds. Big gap up the middle. 0-2 to end the inning. He slaps it down the third base side, hugging the line. It's fair. Throw to first in time. Caulfield waited on it. There's plenty of time. Y'alls go down 1-2-3 for the first time today. We move on to the bottom of the fifth. Still 2-1 Y'alls. The gap closing between the Y'alls and the Wild Things in this one. It was 2-0 until a Brandon McElwain home run broke the skid for Washington. 2-1 Y'alls the score. Entering the bottom of the fifth inning, Yannick Villalobos on the bump for his fifth inning of work. He has gone 6 or more in his last 3 starts. The southpaw facing the 9-1-2 segment of the Washington order, starting off with right-handed hitting catcher J.C. Santini, followed by Jalen Miller and Tommy Caulfield. Santini's 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. First pitch on the way. He swings and pops it up. First base side, heading foul. Zeisler in pursuit. He's caught 2 pop-ups already. And foul ground. He catches it. 1 away on 1 pitch. Villalobos is forcing a lot of uppercut swings on the Washington side. Jalen Miller comes up 1 for 2. He singled his way aboard in the first inning to lead off Washington's half of the game, but grounded out back to the mound last time up. It was a sharp play from Villalobos. He slided his right hand down towards its hip on a comebacker and had it in plenty of time. and he's good with the sleight of hand. First pitch on the way. Curls in low and inside for strike one. Earlier today, he dazzled relief pitcher Rodney Hutchison with a card trick. Waiting in the hotel lobby to check out. 0-1. Swung on and belted to deep right center field. O'Sabin in pursuit. In the gap, he reaches up and makes the catch. A lot of air under that one, but it's out number 2. Villalobos has tossed 3 pitches here in the bottom of the 5th, and there are 2 away. That brings up Tommy Caulfield, who's had exactly 1 hit in every game this series, including his 1-for-2 line so far today. Villalobos settles in on the third base side of the rubber. Infield shifted heavily over towards the right. First pitch from the windup. Winds in front door for a strike. Villalobos, while the team was waiting to check out, brought out a deck of cards. And Kent Kleiman asked him to do it, and he said, Rodney, he said, Hutch, you've got to come look at this. And there was something that he did. He pulled out a 4 of clubs, put it back into the deck randomly, and Yoniker kept placing cards in some odd pattern, and he came up with the 4 of clubs. 0-1. Swinging a foul tip to the backstop. 0-2 count. Every pitch Yoniker has thrown this inning has been a strike. All 5 of them. He is attacking the plate really well. He has walked just 1 batter, and it was last inning. From the windup, the 0-2. Swinging a dribbler out to short. Johnson on the backhand fields it. Sidearm throw to first across his body is in time. Ed Johnson goes ranging over into the outfield grass and makes a leaping play. 1, 2, 3 go the Wild Things. Just 6 batters as a whole across the entire 5th inning. Trading 1, 2, 3 blows. We move on to the 6th, 2-1 Yalls. Two-1 Yalls moving on into the top of the 6th inning, brought to you by the Pediatric Dental Center. Looking for the perfect pediatric dentist? Northern Kentucky patients are welcome to come visit the Pediatric Dental Center. Visit them online at pediatricdentalcenter.com. Yalls are ahead on a Brian Fuentes home run in the 1st inning, followed by a TJ Reeves swiper home on a wild pitch. Fuentes leads off this frame, followed by Zeisler and Reeves. Ryan has hit 2 home runs in the last week. One of them a grand slam back on Saturday against Joliet. That was a come from behind loss for the Yalls. Still the lefty Marlon Perez on the bump. He winds into it. First pitch on the way. Falls in for a strike at the knees. 0-1 count to Fuentes. He underwent a slump after that grand slam, going hitless for his next 12 at-bats until an RBI single last night. Yalls won that game 7-5. 0-1. Backdoor curveball winds in at the belt for a strike. The Yalls are wearing baby blue jerseys atop equal colored pants, and that's exactly what we see up above in the sky. 0-2. He swings and laces it up the middle through to center field. Chayka lets it fall. Base hit for Brian Fuentes, his 3rd hit in the last 2 games. One on, nobody out for Hank Zeisler. He is 0 for his last 12 at-bats, just like Fuentes was yesterday before reaching on the RBI single. The Yalls are all in blue, and this night sky looks exactly the same. There are wispy clouds off beyond left field and a clear night with some pink haze beyond right, but something And the oncoming darkness is refracting inside the fluffy clouds and giving us a very Florence blue here in Washington. Lefty-lefty matchup, first pitch on the way. Swing and a drive down the left field line, hooking towards the foul pole, but out of play. That one lands just beyond the last bench in the Y'all's bullpen. Like Joliet, there are open bullpens here in Washington. The Y'alls were in Joliet for their first stretch of this 6-game road trip. And there they had the mounds deeper towards the fence, but here it's the opposite. The pitching mound in the bullpen is closer towards home. The 0-1. He winces at one high and inside, and it misses for ball one. And this Azul up above is painting the green oaks in a very turquoise shade. 1-1. Swinging a dribbler back at the mound. Perez has it. He wheels to second for one. Relay to first in time. Zeisler grounds into a double play. Now there are two away, bases empty. Y'all's up 2-1 in the top of the sixth. Marlon Perez, in his second appearance out of the Nationals organization, is pitching a gem. He has allowed one hit, but gone 5 batters. Here comes T.J. Reeves after the double play. From the windup, first pitch. Fastball at the Sox, ball one. Reeves returned from injury on Tuesday in the first game of this series with 2 doubles, hitting a home run last night as well. 1-0. He swings and tags it to the backstop. 1-1 count for Reeves. And TJ comes up with 2 away. He's batting .302. 1-1. High leg kick. Watches a backdoor curve fall for a strike. TJ shakes his head walking out of the box. At home plate umpire Jeff Clifford, who has had a very high strike zone in this game. We've seen both pitchers throw pitches right at the knees, or maybe a little above, and have them be called balls. 2 away, base is empty, 1-2 from the windup. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the game for Reeves. Y'alls go down in an unconventional 1-2-3. We move on to the bottom of the 6th inning, 2-1 Y'alls. Y'alls moving on to the bottom of the 6th inning. Yannick Villalobos still on the bump. He has 3 straight starts of going beyond 6 innings, or 6 innings or more. Trying to make that 4 in a row. Left-hander dealing to the 3-4-5 part of the Washington order, starting with righty Wagner Lagrange. From the windup, his first pitch. Swung on and belted up the middle through to center field. Base hit for Lagrange. His first hit of the day. He's 1 for 3. Washington is doing a lot of attacking on the first pitch. Villalobos only threw 6 pitches in the last inning. 1, 2, 3. All of those were in the strike zone. Tyreek Reed comes up, also 0 for 2. He has not left the infield. Popping out to first in foul ground and grounding out to second after that. Ready at the plate, lefty on the bump. First pitch, he swings and misses high and away. That pitch was at his shoulders. Villalobos settles back in, tan glove pitched underneath his arm. Stares daggers at the plate. Time called. Nope, a balk on Villalobos, his second of the game. And he's got open palms towards the third base umpire, Evan Kerr. Here comes manager Chad Rhodes. He's taken off his helmet, readjusted. He does not look happy with a scowl about that one. I didn't see it either. I'm sort of at a loss here. Villalobos before today, I do not believe, have been called for a balk all season long. Now he's been called twice. I didn't see any shimmy. I didn't see any strange movement from Villalobos. Now the tying run is in scoring position. Rhodes stomps back to the dugout with no further decision. No explanation was offered to Villalobos. No one came and talked with him. Now he's sharing words with first base umpire Brandon Snyder about what just happened. I think it's Snyder who made the call. 0-1 count for Reed. Runner on second, nobody out. First pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2. Reed is 0 for 2 in this game. 2 balks called on Villalobos in one game, and I really don't understand what happened there. 0-2, glove at his eyes. High leg kick. Misses upstairs. Reed has been going for that pitch in this one, so it makes sense Villa would go there on the 0-2 count. The Owls have an efficient K/9 against Washington this season, 9.5 as a team. 1 and 2 sent out to short. Johnson Fields on the run. Long throw to first is in time. That holds Lagrange at second with 1 away. Washington stranded Jalen Miller at third after getting him there with 1 out in the first inning. The Owls are trying to force something similar here in the 6th, up 2-1. Andrew Check batting from the left side comes up. He's 0 for 2. He settles in with an Auburn bat above his back shoulder. First pitch on the way. Watches a curveball high and outside. And a 9.5 K/9 means that you average striking out more than 1 batter every inning as a team. 1-0. Swing and a miss, high and inside. As a whole, the Owls have a 7.9 K/9. So they are better than their average against Washington. 1-1. Check swing, pitch at the knees. Called a ball. Villalobos opens both palms towards home. He has not been getting his pitches at the bottom of the zone. Neither did Malik Barrington for Washington, nor has Marlon Perez. It's been a high strike zone for Jeff Clifford. And while you may disagree on the mound, it has been consistent. Villalobos settles in again. Glove at the shoulders, 2-1 count, 1 away, runner on second. High leg kick. Swing and a chopper out to first. Eisler waits on it and races to the bag. 2 away. That gives Lagrange third. But with 2 away, doesn't really matter. Second versus third.
To a small degree, yes. An infield hit or a wild pitch / pass ball can move him ahead, but it's not like a single to center field is going to score him any less. But also a two-way. The fly ball just ends the inning instead of getting a sacrifice fly. Brandon McElwain sent the ball a mile his last time up. He snuck out a home run to the deepest part of the yard. He bats from the right side. There is a big gap up the middle between Johnson at short and Richardson at second. Time called at home. McElwain takes a heavy breath and settles back into the box. That home run is his only hit so far today. He's 1 for 2. First pitch. Fastball right down the middle for strike one. Yesterday, McElwain went 1 for 2 with a sac fly and a single. He opened up the series with a pair of hits and a 2 for 5 showing, including a triple. 0-1. Swing and a miss, high and away, behind a 90-mile-per-hour heater. We've talked about it many times in this broadcast. Villalobos has gone 6 innings or longer in each of his last 3 starts, 1 strike away from meeting that threshold once again. Time called at home. The Alls are chasing the Lake Erie Crushers for the last playoff spot by 5.5 games. They hold a 1-run lead here in the bottom of the 6th with 2 away and the tying run 90 feet from home. Villalobos comes set, glove at the chin. From the third base side, he deals high and inside, and he almost hits him. McElwain, for the Alls' benefit, jumps out of the way. Florence has led from the jump. Brian Fuentes homered to give the Alls a 1-0 lead, and T.J. Reeves scored on a wild pitch in the next inning. 1-2. Swing and a dribbler third base side and foul. McElwain's home run in the 4th is the latest tally. A very low-scoring game. Last night, the Alls won the hits battle 10-8. It was a 10-3 Washington lead on Tuesday as far as hits as well. It's 5-4 Washington here. The pitch. This is upstairs. The Wild Things have 1 hit in every inning besides the 5th. The Alls put up 3 through the first 2 innings and added their latest one in the 6th, leading off. 2-2, 2 away from the stretch. Swing and a miss on one in the dirt. The golf attempt for strike 3. Villalobos has K'd 4 batters. And once again, Washington strands the tying run on third. We move on to the 7th inning, 2-1 Yalls with 6, 7, 8 due up. It's a tight 2-1 lead for the Yalls, moving on into the top of the 7th inning underneath a darkening purple sky here in Washington. LEDs on above. This call for the lights brought to you by Edgewood Electric. From the beginning, Edgewood has been dedicated to leading the electrical data and telephone industries. Reach out at edgewoodusa.com. Leading off for the Yalls against the lefty Marlon Perez is Steven Hrustich. The left fielder bats from the right side. He's 0 for 2. First pitch on the way. Launches a backdoor curve in the dirt for ball 1. Perez entered this game to lead off the 5th inning. He has allowed 1 hit and faced 6 batters, striking out 1 forcing a double play. Big gap up the middle for Hrustic, the 1-0. Fastball misses high and outside, 2-0 count. In the leadoff spot, Steven is batting .382 on the season, hitting on base about 42% of the time. He has 3 leadoff home runs. 2-0 forces a swing and miss, low and inside on a curveball. Hrustic settles back in, crowding the plate an inch closer. All black bat pasted over his back shoulder, leaning over home. The 2-1, swing and a miss. Chase that one high and away. Perez, who started the year in the Nationals organization, resettles on the bump. Carries his black hat low over his eyes. Swings his leg high. The 2-2 pitch. Misses high and outside. He leans back during his rotation. Sort of bends at his back knee, maybe 15 degrees back towards third. Full count to his first batter of the inning. The pitch. Swing and a dribbler down the third base side. It's fair. Caulfield has at the ankles. Throw to first is offline and through to right field. Hrustic holds it first. And he boards as the leadoff man here in the top of the 7th inning. On a throwing error from Tommy Caulfield. His first mistake defensively of the series. That is the first error of this game. There were no errors in yesterday's affair, but the Alls were plagued by the error plenty of times throughout Tuesday's loss. That was an 8-3 Wild Things win. The Alls committed a season-high 4 errors throughout the game. Now they're getting the benefit of the doubt. Throw over to first, and Hrustic is back in safely. Zade Richardson is up at the plate on the right side. He doubled his first time up and walked after that. Zade is playing second base for the second time this season. In our Meet NKY conversation with Coach before the game, hitting coach and today's designated hitter, Craig Massey, said that Zade's a capable player. They can put him anywhere, and he's been training at second base all season. First pitch. Watches one high and outside for a ball. He also added pitcher Hunter Mink for this series. He rides the bus, never having met any of his teammates, and Zade Richardson immediately sees him and goes and sits down next to him. Part of his leadership mentality. 1-0, he tails it to the backstop. We've been talking about that all series, but it is still striking that you've got a 3 to 4 hour drive ahead, and you pick out the guy you've never even talked to before. In our Flow Talk episode 1, we talked to Zade Richardson. That's our YouTube series where we chat with members of the Florence Yalls. He said he wants to be that leader. He's 24 years old. 1-1, he sends another one to the backstop. Zade, who played in the Cardinals and Braves organization, says he learned a lot about leadership from watching Yadier Molina. He got to learn from him firsthand. Sure, there was the ins and outs of being a good catcher and swinging at the plate, but he says that there is just something that you learn about the intangibles from watching a career catcher, a future Hall of Famer, and someone who's been a leader since day one. Stoppage on the field as home plate umpire Jeff Clifford had to clear something up with his first base umpire and crew chief Brandon Snyder. But they break and head back to their positions. Perez leans in, bent at a 45-degree angle at the waist, searching for his pitch. Now he comes set. 1-2 from the stretch. Backdoor curve misses at the letters. Hrustic dangling off of first base. First team All Big Ten with Michigan this year. Very briefly intersected with J.C. Santini during his time at Northwestern. Santini, Washington's catcher. 2-2 count. High leg kick. Swing and a line shot into the left field gap that rolls on towards the wall. Hrustic motors around second. He's got the green light to third. Richardson going for second. Throw to the base. Not in time. For the second time today, Zade Richardson moves the leadoff runner over to third with a shallow double. 2-1 Yalls with 2 men in scoring position. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. The teams are even in the hits department at 5 aside. Sergio Gutierrez comes up to the plate on the right side. Of his 10 home runs this season, 2 of which have been this week, he has 2 right-handed homers. Both of his dingers against Washington have been from the left. First pitch sails high and outside, ball one. With runners in scoring position, Sergio has 23 RBIs. He's batting .259. Krustich dangles by a leisurely lead off of third. Richardson 3 steps off of second. Infield very close on the infield grass. 1-0. Check swing and a fastball high and away. Gutierrez settles in the middle of the righty box. Back foot on the chalk. Even stance. The 2-0. He swings and rips it to the backstop, foul. 2-1 count. Perez readjusts his hat, standing behind the rubber, rolls up each of his black arm sleeves and shuffles them back down towards his wrist. The All started this game ahead on a Brian Fuentes home run and a wild pitch scoring TJ Reeves. 2-1, hefty swing and miss. Sergio has been struggling throughout the rest of his team's success in this game. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks. That moves him to 74 strikeouts on the season. Still in third, but one behind Brian Fuentes for second with 75. Takes a moment outside the box. Makes a half swing and settles back in. 2-2. Perez leans over, pitching from the middle of the rubber. High leg kick. 2-2. Misses up top near the helmet. Full count. An unwavering lower bowl filled to the brim here in Washington. 80 degrees throughout this one. A hazy purple sky above. The 3-2. Swing and a foul pop over the backstop. Ever since rain pushed the start time for Game 1 on Tuesday back 59 minutes, it has been nothing but beautiful weather here in Washington. This, the most temperate night after the last 2 days, peaked up into the 90s. Another payoff. Swing and a line drive into deep right center field, hanging back towards the fence. At the wall, looking up, that one hops the wall. Krustich jogs home. Richardson rounds third. Gutierrez cruises into second. A very late relay puts him in. 4-1 Y'alls on a 2-run double. Sergio Gutierrez, after hitting a home run in each of the last 2 games, sends another one to right field, this time his opposite way. And the gapper gives the Y'alls a 3-run lead, the largest of the evening. Nobody out in the top of the 7th for the 9-hitter, right-handed hitting Ed Johnson. Ed, when he comes up with runners in scoring position, is batting .360. First one on the way, squares to bunt, but pulls back, that one high and outside. Last night, Ed was in the leadoff spot. He came together with a 2-for-4 line. Both of his hits came in the later innings in the 6th and 7th. 1-0. Watches a curveball dance high and inside for strike one. TJ Reeves is sitting on the front step of the dugout staring in at home. He and Ed are both Alabama natives and vaguely knew each other in high school, having played a little bit together and a fair amount against each other. Now teammates again with the Y'alls. 0-2. Check swing at one high and inside. Called strike three. Johnson slams the neck end of his bat down into the ground, walking back towards the dugout. Second strikeout for Perez. First out here in the top of the 7th. Y'alls up by 3 with the top of the order up. Runner on second is Gutierrez. Blazo Sabin at the plate. First one. He swings and sends it to the backstop, foul. It's been a rocky series for Blaze so far. He's 0 for 7. He returned from injury on Tuesday. Returned from injury against Joliet. Dealt with a thumb injury. Was out for 10 days. 0-1. Another foul ball to the backstop. 0-2 count for Blaze. was one of many players camped out in the clubhouse earlier watching the semifinal Olympic basketball game between the U.S. and Serbia, pleading for a couple more minutes to wait till batting practice started. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Perez rebounds after the 2-run double with back-to-back 3-pitch Ks. Massey waltzes up to the plate, 0 for 2. He's reached safely on a hit in 11 straight games. He's reached safely on a hit in 10 straight games. He's reached base in 11 with his walk earlier today. Lefty-lefty matchup. High leg kick. Swings and foul tips it over towards the Y'all's dugout. 0-1 count. Massey walked into this game with a 365 batting average. In the second half, he is 20 for 55. So since the All-Star break, he's batting .364. 0-1 count. Perez swings high and deals. Cut on and fouled off towards the left side, out of play. 0-2 count for Massey. So what was the issue for Perez? He allowed Hrustic to reach on an error at third. That's not his fault. But then he gives up back-to-back doubles to give the Y'alls a 3-run cushion. Then he throws 8 straight strikes. 0-2. Swinging a shallow fly ball into right field. Tracking his check at first. And he makes the catch on the early outfield grass. So Perez, after letting up 2 runs on back-to-back doubles, goes 1-2-3 like it was nothing. 4-1 Y'alls. We move on into the 7th inning stretch here in Washington. The Y'alls trying to upset the #1 team in the Frontier League and swipe their 5th series of the second half. After the 7th inning stretch, we come to you with a Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken pitching change. Alex Wagner on the bump in place of Yanniker Villalobos. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken is always fresh and never frozen. Wagner pitching from the right side with a 4-1 Y'alls lead. The right-hander dealing to a fellow righty and Ethan Wilder. First pitch on the way from the stretch. Misses upstairs. Villalobos is out after 6 innings of beautiful baseball. He allowed 5 hits, 1 run on a Brandon McElwain homer, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Wagner settles in on the third base side of the rubber. He fires. Check swing high and away. Called a strike. 1-1 count. Wagner enters his 19th appearance of the season with a .440 earned run average across 30 2/3 innings with 31 Ks. High leg kick. Swinging a rope down the right field line and foul. 1-2 count. Wilder is 1 for 1. He reached on an infield single his first time up. It was no fault of Zade Richardson at second base. It was a high chopper that just took forever to get to him. He walked last time up. 1-2. Wagner from the stretch. Swinging a lace out to second. Richardson waits on it. At the ankles, he flies on to first and gets him. Looked like Hank Zeisler came off the bag after he caught the ball. Washington fans think it was a little bit early. Now I can safely say they are in fact wrong. Zeisler was on the base when he caught that ball. So there is rightfully one away. Robert Chayka at the plate batting on the right side. Wagner resettles, black glove at his chin. He fires. Misses low inside. 1-0 count for Chayka. Wagner celebrated his birthday on Sunday, turning 27. Came up with a no-hit frame. 1-0. Curveball low and away for a strike. The Yalls had lost their last 2 games to Joliet. They needed something good from Wagner in the middle innings. He came through clutch. Happy birthday to him. 1-1. Swinging a foul tip to the backstop. Hefty gap up the middle. Johnson at short. Richardson at second. A lot of space between them. 1-2. And this is low. 2-2 count for Chayka. Chayka in his second year in Washington. Played a lot of Kentucky baseball in college. 2-2, misses low. Played 2 NCAA seasons at Kentucky Wesleyan. Chicago, Illinois home. Yesterday, he came in an emergency role after Caleb McNeely injured himself, flying into the center field wall to rob Ed Johnson of a leadoff hit. 3-2. Backdoor curve misses just low. Of course, with the strike zone we've seen from Jeff Clifford, that could have been what we would normally consider a strike. But his strike zone has rested at the bottom, really in the middle of the thighs, and rode up towards the letters. J.C. Santini comes up 0 for 2. He grounded out to short when Ed Johnson made a spectacular play up the middle, sliding onto the outfield grass. He popped out to first last time up. Hank Zeisler has caught 4 foul pop-ups at first. First pitch. Fastball over the heart of the plate for strike 1. Wagner, a Cincy native, settles in on the bump from Westchester, right around Cincinnati. He played at Mount St. Joseph. 0-1, a heavy breath. He nods and deals, swinging a pop fly over the backstop. 0-2 count for Santini. He struck out swinging in the 10th inning last night when he pinch hit for Ricardo Sanchez for the favorable matchup against lefty Kent Kleiman. Kleiman got the better of him and earned his 4th save, tying the team lead with 4. 0-2 from the stretch. Misses low and away. Santini has been retired with 31 strikeouts this season. He's also hitting the 3 double plays. There's a runner on first with 1 away in the bottom of the 7th. 4-1 Yalls. Rocks into it from the stretch. Misses low and away. This is how Wagner treated Chayka. He was ahead in the count 1-2 and then started trying to get him to chase. Given the BB written in my scorebook, it did not work out. Two he deals. Half swing, full miss. Strike 3 for Santini. 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th, but that brings up the top of the order in Jalen Miller, who's 1 for 3. Miller hobbles in on the right side of the plate, having flied out to center last time up. Righty-righty matchup from the stretch. Watches a breaking ball in the dirt. Wagner leans in again, staring in at home. Peers over at first and resets. Glove at the shoulders. He deals. Misses low. Gutierrez goes into the butterfly to block it. 2-0 count. Wagner takes a moment to chat with Gutierrez. Now they break. Runner on first, 2 away. 4-1 Yalls, bottom of the 7th. 2-0 count. He deals, high and outside. Wagner is trying to pitch around Miller. Miller entered this game batting .299. He has 8 RBIs on the season, just 4 home runs. The pitch, right down Broadway. 3-1 count. Wagner told me it was a possibility that he could pitch on Tuesday after a day's rest, and he said he's one of those guys who feels like he can go every day. But he's gotten a nice long rest. 3-1. Backs him off the plate, but it's a called strike on the inner half. Front door curve made Miller blink. Now Wagner is 1 strike away from ending the inning. 2 away. The only runner is Robert Chayka on first. He is forced, so he will be off with the pitch. 4-1 Yalls. Bottom of the 7th, 2 away, full count. High leg kick, runner goes. Swinging a foul tip to the backstop. So let's do it all over again. Horses back in your stables. Wagner leans in again, ball at the small of his back. Now he comes set. The payoff pitch. Swinging a high fly ball, foul off to the right side, now to play. Put that one up at 88 miles per hour, trying to get him to chase. It was a strike blown away, but again, we've been dealing with a high strike zone from Jeff Clifford. Still 3-2 from the stretch. Misses high and outside, ball 4. Well, that's a battle for Miller. Second walk of the inning for Wagner. Tying run is at the plate and Tommy Caulfield. He has fired off 10 home runs this season. Gutierrez knows that, takes a moment to chat with Wagner. Closed off to home, they face second base while they discuss. Caulfield bats from the left side. Against right-handed pitching, he's batting .260 on the season. Caulfield is one of the few lefties who's better against left-handed pitching. He bats .339 against fellow southpaws. He's 1 for 3 today. All of those at-bats against Yannicker Villalobos, a southpaw. First pitch. Check swing low and inside. Home plate umpire Clifford says he went. 0-1 count. 80 miles per hour underneath that pitch from Wagner. Caulfield batting in the smack middle of the lefty box. 0-1. And he swings and misses again. 0-2 count. Wagner's breaking ball gets him to miss twice in a row. But this was a problem for Alex. Earlier on in the season, he would have multi-run outings where he would just keep going back to that curveball. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But fool me 3 times, you know the J. Cole lyric. 0-2. Pitching from the middle of the rubber now. High leg kick, swing and a miss. That one escapes to the backstop. Long rebound, throw to first, hits him in the helmet and runs into right field. Run coming home. No throw home for Chayka, he scores. Miller heads to third. The second drop third strike of the series. It rightfully should have been an out, but the odds of that zeroing in like a heat-seeking missile on the back of his helmet. Caulfield is safe at first after that chaotic display. I don't even know what to score that, because it's not an error on Gutierrez. The throw was on line. (4-2 Yalls). After that freak play, here comes Wagner Lagrange, batting from the right side. Runners on the corners. Wagner comes set, his first pitch. Fastball high and inside for a strike. Now let's take it all the way back to Alex's first home appearance of the season. That was his first appearance in a win of the season. That was against the Schaumburg Boomers all the way back in May. He comes set the pitch, swing and a miss. There were multiple errors in the field behind him, but he still pulled together for a shutout outing. There were 2 errors behind him. So that was really a 5-out frame, and he got out of it. So he's used to things like this. 0-2, another chance to end the inning. Low leg kick, front door curve, falls in for strike 3. Back-to-back Ks, 3 in a 4-out inning. We move on to the 8th. It's a 4-2 Y'all's lead. And coming up is the 3-4-5, part of the order. Fuentes, Zeisler, and Reeves. Don't go anywhere. It's a closer ball game than it was about 10 minutes ago. Moving on into the top of the 8th inning, it's a 4-2 Y'all's lead. Washington brings Brendan Nail into the game to replace Marlon Perez. A lefty is swiping in for a lefty for this Lou's Famous Recipe Chicken pitching change. Perez went 3 innings, allowing 2 runs on 3 hits. He also struck out 3 batters. Nail comes in against Brian Fuentes, Hank Zeisler, and TJ Reeves, righty, lefty, righty. First pitch on the way. Fuentes watches one high and inside for a ball. He sent a home run on the first pitch he saw today. Scraped over the left field wall, 325 feet to that straightaway fence. Nail resettles his 1-0. Misses downstairs, 2-0 count. This is his 12th appearance. He's gone 12 innings on the season, striking out 20 batters with a 3.00 earned run average. 117 whip from the stretch. Swing and a foul tip to the backstop. 2-1 count. Nail pitched 1 inning without allowing a base runner, rather without allowing a hit. Back in Tuesday's Wild Things win, he hit 1 batter but struck out the side. 2-1. High leg kick. This is low. 3-1 count for Fuentes. He's 2 for 3 with that home run and a single last time up. He slumped with a 12 at-bat hitless slump, but he broke that yesterday in an RBI single. Y'all's won that game, 7-5. 3-1. Curveball misses at the Sox. He walks his first batter. Y'all's have the leadoff man aboard for the 3rd straight inning. That is the 4th time this game. Hank Zeisler is not just hit hungry, he is knock starved, having gone 13 at-bats without a hit. 0 for 3 in this one. A swinging strikeout in the first, a flyout in the 3rd, and he grounded into a double play last time up in the 6th. Lefty-lefty matchup, runner on first, nobody out, top of the 8th from the stretch. This is blown away. The Y'alls lead 4-2 thanks to Fuentes' first inning home run. TJ Reeves scoring on a wild pitch, and last inning, Sergio Gutierrez blasted a 2-run double to score Stephen Hrustich and Zade Richardson. Heavy shift towards the right side, 1-0. This is outside and low, 2-0 count for Zeisler. resets out of the lefty box. All white batting gloves underneath the base of his pitch black bat, matching our sky tonight. 2-0. This is downstairs. 3-0 from Nail. Nail has gone 6 straight shutout appearances with only 1 hit in that time, back on August 1st, a win over Joliet. 3-0, fastball at the knees for a strike. In that time, including what just happened, he has walked 3 batters. Last time he allowed a run was on July 13th, so just under a month ago. It was against Florence, 3-1. Swing and a tapper down the third base side and foul. That was perfectly placed if it had been fair, painting the chalk. But it misses by maybe 6 inches. The shortstop, Ethan Wilder, is nearly behind second base. Jalen Miller for Zeisler at second is normally in the outfield grass, but he's closer to that middle bag for the double play depth. Fuentes, a runner on first after a 5-pitch walk to lead off this frame. 4-2 Yalls, top of the 8th, nobody out. Lefty-lefty matchup, and a full count from the stretch. Misses Lone away, back-to-back walks. The runners on first and second for the Yalls with nobody out for the team's home run leader in TJ Reeves. Reeves in this game is 1 for 3. Washington takes a moment to talk things over. Pitching coach Alex Boshears takes a long trot out to the mound. And there is some action brewing now in the Washington bullpen as 3 different pitchers have started stretching. Boshears chatting over his pitcher, Nail. Joined by J.C. Santini, the catcher. Now they finally break. And Reeves comes up against left-handed pitching this season. He has hit 6 home runs. He has 10 against right-handed pitchers. So he actually has a higher number of dingers pitching against the same side, when hitting against the same side. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Top of the 8th, 4-2 Yalls. Lefty on the bump, righty at the plate. First pitch to Reeves. He swings and dribbles it foul off into his own dugout. Still a crisp 80 degrees here in Washington. Although the trees are barely visible beyond the center field wall, the sun still had trouble earlier peeking out from behind the rolling Pennsylvania hills. Now it's all black. 0-1, he lunges and fouls off to the right side. The lower bowl is mostly full here at Wild Things Park, bathed in light of the LEDs overhead. 0-2 for Reeves. He has struck out twice in this one. He leads the Yalls in strikeouts with 77 on the season. From the stretch, swinging a foul tip to the backstop. He led off his day, striking a single up the middle on the first pitch he saw, leading off the second. Since then, he has seen 11 pitches. 2 have been outside the strike zone. 1 has been fouled off. The other 8 have all been strikes. 0-2 again. High and inside, and it plunks him. Yalls have the bases loaded. They haven't needed to swing the bat. 2 walks and a hit by pitch. And here comes Steven Hrustich, one of the top players on the team. When there are runners in scoring position, he bats .432, a better batting average than anyone else when there's runners on second or third. And he's got ducks on the pond. Fuentes on third, Zeisler on second, Reeves on first. The infield at double play depth. Yalls up by a pair. Lefty deals to righty. First pitch misses inside and low. If you've paid attention to Yalls baseball this season, you've heard the 2 words Grand Slam repeated a lot. Florence has hit 6 grandies this season, 2 of them in the last week and a half. 1-0. Swinging a sharp shot down the left field line and foul. Brandon McElwain in right field is about 20 steps in front of the warning track. Robert Chayka in center is a little closer after Hustich hit a home run over the batter's eye yesterday, but the left fielder Wagner Lagrange is right near the fence. 1-1. Backdoor slider winds in for a strike high and away. Hard to place that more perfectly. At the belt on the outer chalk, the home plate. The Yalls are 5.5 games out of a playoff spot. After today, there are 23 games left in the season. 1-2, misses high and outside. Florence is chasing Lake Erie, who split a doubleheader earlier today, beating the Evansville Otters 9-0 in Game 1, but falling 1-0 in Game 2 in extras. 2-2. Called strike 3 on the front door. Brustic slams his bat against the ground, sulking back to the dugout. 1 away with the bases loaded. Now for Zade Richardson, who has a chance for Frontier League immortality here. The highest number of grand slams hit in one season by a single player is 3. Zade has 2. He digs in on the right side. His first at-bat this season was a grand slam against the Capitals. First pitch, winds high and outside, ball 1. The number of 3 grand slams in a season has been met 6 times. Riley Crane in 2021 for Evansville. Jeremy Mylans for the Southern Illinois Miners in 2009. Wes Long for Windy City in 2008. Noah Peary for Chillicothe in 2005. 1-0, swung on and tapped into the Yalls dugout. 1-1 count. Brian Foster did it for Evansville in 1999. The first guy who did it was a member of the Yalls organization back when they were the Johnstown Johnnies, Derek Gauthier, in 1997. So Zade has a chance to bookend history with a fellow member of the Florence organization. Bases loaded, 1 away, 4-2 Yalls, top of the 8th. From the stretch, swing and a miss. Looked like he foul tipped it. 1-2 count. Zade's second grand slam came against these Washington Wild Things on July 2nd. That was a 5-4 Yalls win. It was right here in Washington. 1-2. Fastball down the middle. Gotta have that for Zade. He goes down looking. 2 away after the Yalls put their first 3 runners on base. Here comes Sergio Gutierrez, who's right behind Zade in the grand slam race with 1. Sergio has homered in every game this series except today. Hit a solo shot on Tuesday in the 5th inning, another solo shot in the 5th inning yesterday. Here on Thursday, he's 1 for 3 with a 2-run double. First pitch, the righty swings and lobs that one to shallow center field. Chayka chasing in and he lets it drop. 1 run scores, another run coming around. Zeisser from second, he tags home. And Sergio Gutierrez has back-to-back 2-run knocks. 6-2 Yalls. Runners on first and second. The walks and hit by pitch at the beginning of the inning come back to bite Brendan Nail. The southpaw put his first 3 runners aboard, and it looked like he might escape, but not so fast. Here comes Ed Johnson, still searching for his first hit of the game. He bats from the right side. No action in the Washington bullpen. Kent Kleiman warming up for the Yalls. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Kleiman earned the save last night, but perhaps coming on in a setup role today. Reeves the runner on second. Gutierrez on first after the 2-run single. 1-0 to Johnson. Fastball blown away, called a strike. Ed comes in with 3 home runs on the season. All of them have been out to left field. 1-1. Watches one at the Sox. 2-1 count. 2 of Ed's homers have been 3-run shots. The table is set for him for exactly that right here. He bats .360 with runners in scoring position. And with 2 away, he comes in with a .265 line. High leg kick, the 2-1. Backdoor curveball finds the upper outside corner for strike 2. Johnson struck out looking his last time up. Frozen on a fastball low and inside. That was against another lefty in Marlon Perez. Nail is relieving Perez after his 3 innings of work, allowing 2 runs on 3 hits. Nail has allowed 1 hit, walked 2, and hit 1 in this inning, striking out a pair. The 2-2 sails high and outside. Full count for Johnson. In a full count, Ed has a .444 on base percentage. He has walked 13 times when being put into a full count. The payoff. Swing and a low hopper up the middle. At second, and it hits the base runner. Gutierrez tried to swim out of the way, but it caught him up on the hip. That's the 3rd time this season that a Y'all's base runner has been hit by a live ball, and it ends the inning. Y'all still lead 6-2 on the heroics of Sergio Gutierrez with his 2nd 2-run knock in as many innings. We move on to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Washington, 6-2 Y'alls. Y'alls have a 4-run cushion entering the bottom of the 8th inning. Sergio Gutierrez so far is your hero with 2-run hits in back-to-back innings. 4 RBIs for the Y'alls catcher. Alex Wagner trying to help him out on the bump. He went a scoreless frame in the 7th. The right-hander comes back on for the 8th. Dealing to Tyreek Reed, the biggest bat in the Washington order with the highest batting average. Ready-ready matchup. First pitch on the way. Swung on and popped up over the first base side stands and then foul. Y'alls lead 6-2. Brian Fuentes homer and TJ Reeves scoring on a wild pitch in the first 2 innings. Had them up early. But Sergio Gutierrez hit a 2-run double in the 7th and a 2-run single in the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning now. 0-1. Swing and a high pop fly behind home. Gutierrez in pursuit towards the Wild Things dugout. Called off by Zeisler. He's under it and he catches it. That is the 5th pop out in foul ground caught by Hank Zeisler at first base in this game. He's a popular man over there. That's the 2nd time Reed has been retired that way. The big man hasn't left the infield. Came in batting .259. He's 0 for 4 with 2 infield pop-outs and a couple ground outs to the middle infielders. Andrew Check in his first game back from injury is 0 for 3. He digs in on the left side. Infield shifted over towards first base. Wagner's first pitch. This is low and inside. He had a funky 7th inning. He struck out a batter with 2 outs. Tommy Caulfield then, after swinging and missing, reached on a pass ball on 3rd strike. 1-0, chopped off his front foot and foul. But after Caulfield reached on the drop 3rd strike, scoring a run, scoring Robert Chayka to make it what was then a 4-2 game. The next batter, Wagner Legrand, struck out looking. The Yoles now lead 6-2. 1 away, bases empty, bottom of the 8th. 1-1 count. Right-hander Wagner leans in from the 3rd base side of the rubber. High leg kick. This is low and inside. Briefly, we saw the 6'7" lefty Kent Kleiman warming up for the Yoles. Here in the save last night is team best 4th on the season, but all those actions have stopped. 2-1. Check swing at the curve, called a strike at the knees. 2-2 count. Now it looks like Jeff Clifford's strike zone has fallen back to earth. Yannick Villalobos, Mike Barrington, Marlon Perez did not get strikes at the knees. Brendan Nail and Alex Wagner have. 2-2 from the stretch. Doesn't bite a curveball over the shoelaces. Full count. Wagner took 2 batters to a full count in the last frame, and both of them walked. That was Jalen Miller on an 8-pitch battle. Robert Chayka walking on 6. Both of those are righties. This is a lefty, though. The payoff. Swung on and drilled into the right center field gap. That falls for a base knock. Check is aboard for his first time today. He stops at first. 1 on, 1 away for Brandon McElwain, who homered back in the 4th inning to give Washington its first run. Steps up on the right side of the plate. Middle infielders at double play depth. This has been a very well-played game for Zane Richardson at second base. He practices there, but it's his only 2nd time of the season playing there. First pitch misses inside and low to McElwain. The strike zone has moved back up. That was a curveball that landed at the knees over the plate, and it's called a ball. 1-0. Fastball a little bit lower. That is a ball. 2-0 count. Wagner readjusts his hat behind the mound and now comes set again. This is his 9th batter. Low leg kick. Curveball at the knees for a strike. This strike zone has turned very inconsistent from Jeff Clifford, because Wagner threw nearly that exact pitch on the first one of this at bat, and it was called a ball. 2-1. High and inside, ball 3. On the season, the Yoles relievers hold opponents to a low batting average of 274. 3-1. Popped up right field. Reeves waits on it. All alone, 2 hands up, and he grabs it. He came in a step too far and had to backtrack. Guess he lost it in the lights, but he ended up with the catch. 2 away, runner on first. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning with a 4-run Yoles lead. That brings up Ethan Wilder. Grounded out to second last time, up after reaching on a single and a walk. He has not left the infield. His single was a high hopper to second baseman Zade Richardson that just took too long to get there. First one to the righty, sails outside and high. Wagner settles in. His last outing, he didn't walk anyone, but he's put 2 people aboard by way of the bases on balls. Finds the strike zone there, 1-1 count. He has struck out at least 1 batter in each of his last 4 outings, including 2 today. The righty comes set, glove at the shoulders on the 3rd base side. He deals. Swing and a miss. Chases a curveball upstairs. 1-2. And that's Wagner's put-away pitch. He's good at getting batters to chase the curve, but not too many times. Every now and then he tries it 1 too many tries and either gets battered, or the batters wise up and wait for it. 1-2. Swing and a miss, blown away. That was not one too many times. He gets him to strike out swinging. Wagner's third of the game. We move on to the 9th inning. The Yalls have a chance to win their 5th series of 6 in the second half to try and take down the first place Wild Things. 6-2 Yalls as they grab the bats. Top of the 9th inning coming your way with a Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken pitching change on Washington's side. Justin Goosen Brown, the side-arming right-hander, replaces Brendan Nail after 1 inning of work. Top of the order to go up for the Yalls. The righty Blazo Sabin leading off. 6-2 Florence the score. They've scored multiple runs in each of the last 2 frames. First pitch is tapped down the third base side and foul. O'Sabin is searching for his first hit of the series. He's 0 for 8 and has yet to reach base. He struck out swinging his last time. On Tuesday, he went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Blaze takes a moment outside the box. Barren arms lead up to bright red batting gloves at the base of his 2-piece bat. He crowds the plate, the back of the righty box. 0-1, side arms in, he swings and taps it out into right field on the ground. O'Sabin has his first hit of the series, and for the 5th time today, 4th time in as many innings, the Yalls have their leadoff man aboard. Blaze O'Sabin is not someone you want to see reach base against you, especially if there's no one ahead of him. He has 19 steals on the season in 19 tries. He's second on the Yalls roster, and he'd probably be first if he hadn't joined the team middle of the season and missed 10 games with an injury. Craig Massey comes up on the left side. His 10-game hitting streak is in jeopardy. First pitch, watches a backdoor slider for a strike. We talked with Massey before the game in our Meet NKY conversation with coaches. He is also the Yalls hitting coach. He said he's not exactly superstitious, but he didn't want to tempt the baseball gods by saying anything about ending a streak. He does think that baseball players are the most superstitious players of anyone. He told that to me after the interview ended. He settles back in at the back of the lefty box, closed off stance on his front toes. Goosen Brown deals the 0-1, slapped down the third base side and foul. Barehanded by field manager and third base coach Chad Rhodes. Plucked that one out of thin air, right next to his hip. There is some action in the Yalls bullpen. Left-hander Kent Kleiman warmed up. He closed out last night's game with his team-leading 4th save of the year. Darian Williams, the flame-throwing righty, is also getting loose. He was the setup man last night. The 0-2 to Massey. He swings and chops it foul off to the left side into the stands. Not only is he carrying a 10-game hitting streak, but Massey has reached with multiple knocks in each of the last 6 games. Runner on first is O'Sabin, nobody out. A 6-2 Yalls lead, top of the 9th. Goosen Brown settles in his sidearm. Tap foul off to the left side and into the Yalls dugout. Massey is 0 for 3 in this game. He reached on a walk in the third inning, and then he proceeded to steal second base, his 4th steal of the year. He was stranded at third. The Alls have added 2 runs in each of the last 2 frames, both on Sergio Gutierrez, 2-run knocks. 0-2 again, check swing. The signal deferred out to the third base umpire, who says he did not go. 1-2 count for Massey. Craig digs in on the left side again. Crowds the plate an inch closer, choked up, an inch on the bat as well. From the stretch, runner off for second, slapped down the left field line. Early comes on Lagrange, and he makes the catch. O'Sabin retreats to first. Long throw back to the infield is just too late. Lagrange started behind that ball and then swooped in with the scoop catch. 1 away in the top of the 9th. 6-2 Yalls, runner on first for Brian Fuentes, who homered in the first inning. The Yalls have not trailed in this game. Every other game this weekend has been a back-and-forth affair. Every game against Joliet had multiple lead changes. The last 2 games have had multiple lead changes, 4 of them last night. Righty-righty matchup. Houston Brown deals. This is way outside on the slider, 1-0. Only one Yall has enjoyed a multi-home run game this season, and that's Stephen Hrustich. It came against these Wild Things in the last game of the first half. Fuentes has not hit more than 1 in an outing, even if he has hit very many this season. Houston Brown from the stretch is 1-0. Swung on and tapped into shallow right field. McElwain has plenty of time, and he makes the catch. 2 away. That brings up Hank Zeisler. He walked his last time up on a full count. He still has gone 13 at-bats without a hit. Left-handed hitting utility player. Made it up to 33 straight games, reaching base safely. But that was snapped last night. Infield shifted heavily to the right. First pitch, swing and a miss, high and inside. O'Sabin dangles off of first with a 3-step lead. 2 away, 6-2 Yalls, top of the 9th. 0-1, misses low. No, that's called a strike. So let's get this straight. Jeff Clifford, who had a high strike zone all game, wasn't calling pitches at the knees strikes, watches one at the socks, and calls that one a strike. Make it make sense. 0-2. From the stretch, runner goes. Swung on and driven to center field. In front of Chayka, he races in and catches it in front of his chest. Y'all strand the leadoff man on first and head into the bottom of the 9th inning with a 4-run lead. Here comes Darian Williams to try for his 3rd save of the year after 5 consecutive shutout innings. We move on here on the Florence Yalls Baseball Network. Bottom of the ninth inning coming your way in Washington with a 6-2 Y'alls lead and a Lee's Famous Recipe chicken pitching change. Darian Williams coming onto the bump, trying for his 5th consecutive shutout appearance. He's gone 5 straight innings without allowing a run. He's got a 4-run cushion. The righty dealing to Robert Chaka, the 8th batter. Another righty followed by J.C. Santini and Jalen Miller, all right-handers. First pitch on the way. He swings and taps it foul to the third base side. Washington is a long way in first place with 50 wins. They're 50-23, 6 games ahead of the Gateway Grizzlies at the beginning of today, and likely going to stay that way. 0-1, swing and a miss high. 0-2 count. Gateway is down on the top of the 8th to the Joliet Slammers, 6-3. The Y'alls started this one 5.5 out of a playoff spot. And they are chasing the Lake Erie Crushers. 0-2. Fastball misses high and outside. 1-2 count. Lake Erie split a doubleheader today with Evansville, so they remain 5.5 ahead of the Y'alls. But Florence can close it to 5, the closest margin in over a week. 1-2. Swung on and blasted heavily to left field, but it looks like it's dying. Hustich is under it on the warning track, and he makes the catch. Chaka put a charge into that one, but it dies about 5 feet shy of the wall. 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th. Up until last night, the Wild Things had won 9 in a row, but the Y'alls put a stop to that with a 7-5 win. Now they can win their 5th series in the first 6 out of the All-Star break. J.C. Santini is 0 for 4. He also struck out when he pinch hit in the 9th last night. First one on the way. He swings and rallies one to left center field gap. Rustich charges and he lets it drop. Santini is aboard with his first hit of the series. 6-2 Y'alls, runner on first. Top of the order coming up for Washington. Jalen Miller comes up. Williams has only allowed now 2 hits across his most recent 5 outings. Second hit allowed since July 25th against Evansville. First pitch to the righty Miller. Watches a fastball above the belt. The Y'alls are also trailing the Schaumburg Boomers in the standings. They're in 4th place between the last playoff spot, the 3rd place Crushers. 1-0. Breaking ball misses low and inside. Schaumburg leads Windy City 7-6. So chances are, if the Y'alls hold on to this one, they will still be 3.5 behind the Boomers. 2-0. Misses upstairs. Right now, the tying run is Wagner Lagrange. He's in the hole behind Tommy Caulfield. Lagrange this season has fired off 7 home runs. 3-0. Williams glove at the eyes. He stretches. Fastball at the knees. Strike 1. 3-1 count. Here with 1 away and a runner on first. 4-run Y'alls lead, bottom of the 9th. The pitch bounces and skips away from Gutierrez. A leisure drop to the backstop. Really no movement from Santini jogging into second. Runners on first and second for Tommy Caulfield. 1 away, 6-2 Y'alls. That is only the second time Williams has walked a batter in his last 5 appearances. He has struck out at least 1 batter in each one of those outings. He has 46 strikeouts on the season. Williams with a .506 earned run average coming into this one. The pitch. The lefty Caulfield watches a strike low and away. 91 miles per hour under the fastball there. Infield at double play depth. Washington has not hit into a double play this evening. Low leg kick, sails high and inside. He tilts back out of the way, 1-1 count. Williams played in Florence in 2022, then moved to the Pioneer League last year, but he's back. The 1-1, tapped out towards third. Fuentes has at the ankle. Sidearm to second for 1. Throw to first, not in time. Two away, runners on the corner as the Y'alls 1 out away from taking a series win against the first place Wild Things. The vibrant green trees of the rolling Pennsylvania hills have darkened into a turquoise haze in the background underneath the pitch black night sky. Wagner-Lagrange at the plate. First pitch to the righty. He swings and misses behind the fastball low and inside, 90 miles per hour. Lagrange taps both sides of the plate and resettles. His third year as a Washington Wild Thing after signing with the Mets out of high school. 0-1. Curveball misses up near the helmet. The Y'alls took one game in their first series loss of the second half on the road at Joliet to start this road trip. And now they can come out even. 1-1. Swung on and popped over the backstop. 1-2 count. Darian Williams, one strike away from making it out with 5 straight shutout appearances across 6 innings. He can earn his third save of the season, give the Y'alls the series win, and bring them to 5.5. Bring them to just 5 out of a playoff spot. The pitch misses upstairs. The Y'alls are 2-3 on this road stretch. They can come out even. This is the last time they will play the Wild Things in the 2024 regular season. They can end on 2 high notes with back-to-back wins. 2-2. Swung on and belted high deep to center field. O'Sabin awaits near the warning track. 2 hands out. He catches it. And underneath the maple trees, it's a syrup sweep. It's a syrup sweet series win for the Y'alls. Darian Williams comes out with the save. Y'alls win 6-2. Sergio Gutierrez, your hero in this one, with 2-run knocks in back-to-back innings in the 7th and 8th. The Y'alls finish the job in Washington and take the series win over the Wild Things, taking down the first place team in the Frontier League, a squad that rode into last night's game winners of 9 straight. Florence shuts them down tonight. This game lasts 2 hours and 43 minutes. And Florence comes out on top. Darian Williams with the save, Alex Wagner with the hold. Yanniker Villalobos, 6 beautiful innings of work. A handshake line full of beaming smiles moves the Y'alls back home to rematch the Slammers tomorrow. Gutierrez, your player of the game by far. Zade Richardson had a good game as well with 2 doubles and 3 at-bats, but no RBIs. Brian Fuentes had that home run in the first inning, and for the first time in this road stretch, there were no lead changes throughout this game. Y'all set the tone then and never let it go. Well, that just about does it here in Washington. Thank you so much for joining with us throughout tonight's game along this road stretch. The Y'alls come out even 3-3 during the first week of August and move on back home to face the Slammers for the second time in a week. It's the second to last time that the Y'alls will see the Slammers this season, with another home series coming up at the end of the month. But no more will Florence and Washington meet unless that time comes in the playoffs. The Y'alls are 5 games out of a playoff spot behind Lake Erie. Still 3.5 behind the Schaumburg Boomers, assuming they hold on to their lead tonight. But other than that, nothing to speak of. Underneath a pitch black sky, that is the call sign to head home. And man, is it going to be a joyous but sleepy bus ride back. 4 hours on the road to Florence. Have a great rest of your night. Y'all have had a good one. His games at 6 to begin the second half for Florence. Serbiac Villalobos set the tempo with his fourth consecutive appearance of at least 6 innings. The Southpaw went 6 innings with 5 hits, 1 walk, and 4 Ks. Right-hander Alex Wagner didn't skip a beat in the loop, allowing 1 unearned run across 2 frames, striking out 4 as well. Darian Williams cleaned up everything with a shutout in ninth inning, his 5th straight shutout performance, making it 6 innings without allowing a run. The bats came through for 8 hits, scoring in the first and second, adding on the insurance in the 7th and 8th. Third baseman Brian Fuentes homered on the first pitch he saw in the first inning. Right fielder TJ Reeves scored on a wild pitch in the second. The insurance came entirely for catcher Sergio Gutierrez. The switch hitter launched a 2-run double in the 7th inning, followed by a 2-run single in the 8th, finishing 2 for 4 on the game.
Jolie at 6'3" after. That's like pure. I can't. You can tell he muted so hard on the ground.
Gutierrez walked away with at least 1 RBI in every game.
This post game is going to be fucking Thank you, fans.
Game going 5 for 11 with 6 RBIs, 3 extra base hits, 2 of which left the yard, homering on Tuesday and Wednesday. Second baseman St. Richardson also went 2 for 3 with a walk and 2 doubles. The power hitter suited up at second for just the second time this season, posting a clean line in the middle infield defensively. The win moves Florence closer to third place Lake Erie, closing the gap for the last playoff spot to just 5 games.
I know. I know. I figured. A lot of things analyzed already went out.
The Alls return home to face Joliet Slammers on Firework Friday for a 5-9 night. First pitch is set for 7:03 p.m. between Florence and Joliet.